Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Blue Morning show, specifically Transfer Watch slash match review. And today we'll be reviewing the friendly match between Chelsea and Fulham, a London derby in the United States, which Chelsea won by 2 goals to nothing. We'll also talk about transfers. We'll talk about Wahi, talk about Moises Caicedo, talk about Axel Disasi, and all the news that may emerge as the show progresses. But more importantly, I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. And while you're here, please take a second, drop a like on the stream, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. I hope you're all eating blue, sleeping blue, waking up blue, and overall living the blue life. As for me, that's what I do. But that's, by the way, I have to straight away get what we have in the chat. Say hello to the people there, because that's how we run. We keep it interactive. Even when I'm exhausted, I keep going. Because, yeah, we learn, we move as a unit, and we'll learn from each other. Nobody knows better than anybody here. Your opinion matters. If you remember, that's how we like to put it here. Let's see what we have in the chat already. Andrew Rizis, one of the first people in the chat here. He says it's that time of the year. Yes, nice to hear that from you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join. And then he says, kindly like and subscribe as would be the farewell to July and welcome to August with the season drawing near. Exciting shows and thrilling reviews on Chelsea Perspective awaits you. So stay tuned. And yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to craft that one. I like it. Nothing so ordinary about you. Always formal. And I like that about you. And I'm looking forward to you starting your show on Chelsea Perspective. And this here says, when are we getting our shirt sponsorship deal in place? Michael, we'll see. I honestly do not know. Again, we're not in a rush. We wanted to, I think we wanted to sign a deal with a betting company, and then there were backlash even before the deal was signed. So we pulled out of it. I'm thinking maybe the club intentionally did put it out there. Yeah, that we were on the verge of agreeing a sponsorship deal with that particular company, and the blowback was huge. It was serious. Concerning you said the belief of some of the players within the club's rank, and some shady business dealings by the owner of that particular company. So yeah, we pulled out of that one, and Allianz were offering something that maybe didn't measure our valuation, maybe for lack of a better term. But that's, by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. We have 18 likes and we have 26 people watching. We should be doing better than that already. Lots of stuff lined up, not too many. You can say not too many, but as usual, even though we don't have too many stuff lined up, we'll talk quite a lot about the little we have lined up here. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Blowback was not huge, only social media clowns. I think it's beyond that. Maybe you don't quite understand the story, but if you do, I think you get the point I'm trying to make here. But it's a good thing we didn't go for it. I'm glad the club decided to respect, you can say, the religion or the belief of some of our players, even if they're minority or majority, doesn't matter. We live in a free world, and everybody will all have the right. To follow whatever belief that we like, and in that case, I'm glad they did what they did. Just give me a second. I'm gonna do something right here. I'll be back with you in a bit. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. And yeah, okay. It doesn't really matter. 254, yo, bro, yo to you too, Mr. Happiness is for free. I appreciate you joining today. How are you doing? Mike Kenyan, bro. I appreciate all your support. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 26 likes. We should be doing better than that. No, I'm not, but does it matter? It doesn't matter. I'm a Christian, but it doesn't matter your religion. Because I'm quite sure as a Christian, I wouldn't want the club to do anything that you could say goes against my faith. So that's why I'm happy that they did something that the Muslims within the ranks of the club, will not be feel they don't feel alienated, or for lack of a better way to get my point across. But that's, by the way, I hate discussing that particular issue because it drags us into politics or and all that. But that's, by the way, haters are calling Axel Maguire. How do you compare Axel to overhyped Maguire? They will be in shock. Axel is a very good player. He's good in the ball, excellent tackles, reads the game so well. We shouldn't be comparing him to Harry Maguire. And I have to be honest with you. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. And also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I think it's about time we started addressing the items we have lined up here. And let's see what Mr. Happiness is Free has to say. What more do you have to say there? Will Chelsea get sponsorship for their jersey? You mean before the season, before the first game of the season? I honestly do not know. But I think the club we're not, well, like I said, Chelsea aren't in a hurry to get one. Because if you get one, it's usually a long-term deal. It's usually 5, 6, 10, it depends. So if you sign one that is poor, you're stuck with it for a couple of years. So you want to be sure you get one that is right for you, and then not regret anything. We know Chelsea is a big club. I get it. We didn't finish last season well, but that doesn't mean we should accept. Was it? I think how much? I forgot how much Allianz was offering. Was it 22 million? I think we're bigger than that, really. But let's move on from that. Let's start addressing the items we have lined up here. And the first item here says there's still little activity around Romelu Lukaku's exit from Chelsea. That's according to Nicolas Kinsella. And we're hearing that he's proposed, or you could say his move to Juventus is off. And that's according to this particular report here, where it says the Inter Milan fan to Romelu Lukaku, see, if you sign at Juventus, never say Forza Juventus. And he says, Romelu Lukaku, no, never. I don't think the deal will go through. So that's Romelu Lukaku confirming that he will not be joining Juventus. So you could argue the only possible option for him right now will be to accept the huge offer from the Saudis, who's been pushing to get him to sign for him. And he's been reluctant because the argument is that he wants to play more in Europe, or maybe try to win the Champions League. That's how I see it before moving to Saudi Arabia. But the case may well be by the time he circles back to that offer, the Saudis may change their mind. So I think he's better off taking that deal now. He's not getting any younger, and it's not like the Saudis are. They can, again, it's not like they're not able to get whatever player they want. They just pay the money, pay the player something out of this world, and even if they're 16, you know what, I'm taking it. But in this case, it's not getting any younger. That opportunity will not be there forever. So if I were Lukaku, I'd take that Saudi deal and move on. But that's, by the way, so the deal, Lukaku's proposed a deal to Juventus is off. Let's see what else we have here now from DJ. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. He says, good afternoon, Coachella, and everyone in the chat. People, remember to smash the like button, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The likes do go a long way. And Christian David, I see you. Thank you once more. I appreciate you becoming a member again. And I will not forget to do the monthly giveaway for the students, what we call the Stay in School Project giveaway project. And hopefully we'll have enough people today. I'd really like us to have enough people. Let's see how many people we'll have. Even if we don't do it today, I'll still do it tomorrow when we have more people, because I forgot to add to announce the giveaway with the promotion of of the show. So let's keep it going. What do you think happens with Lukaku? Do you think he stays at Chelsea? As for me, I don't see that happening. The fact that he's been training separately from the first team shows the club don't want him anywhere near the dressing room. So you can say the only option now for him is the Saudi deal. Lukaku will be given for free on Mbappe's deal. He should retire. I don't think he'd be retiring. He had a huge offer on the table for him, but didn't want it. Probably because he still wants to play in Europe, or maybe probably because he wants to stay in Europe and get a chance to win the UEFA Champions League. Tozzy Bright Francis says it seems like a Poch's assertion during the press conference, he's unaware of some new signings, and his answers to some questions are concerning signings. No, I don't see it like that. I think that's just him. He doesn't want to create the room that then you see the journalist there asking him some question that will lead to him giving away the sort of players that we're looking to sign. Or you can say I think he didn't just want to go too much into details. That's how I see it. Nothing concerning there. And be rest assured that there's no way the club will go for a player, get it over the line without Poch saying, knowing about it and looking at the player and saying, oh yeah, I think, yeah, let's go for him. I think he's a good player. Let's get him. I can work with him. So I don't see that happening. But that's just my opinion. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Lukaku is acting like a teenager. He is he is in the end of the career. He should get going. Yeah, he's not getting any younger. I think he should take the Saudi offer, make the money, be sure that his future is well secured, really. But for some reason, again, I'm just speculating. Maybe he wants to win the Champions League, but I just do not know, honestly. But he will never play for Chelsea again. We have Ziyech and Lukaku. All those need to go. In the case of Ziyech, rumors are that Al Nassr could still come back for him. I'm not too sure whether to believe that or not. I think I'm not too sure where what club he joins next, but the rest assured, he's one of those players that will never get the chance to play for Chelsea Football Club again. And I am really impressed about a CFC preseason so far. Let the rest of the important signings be done for Poch quickly, hopefully. And you've seen, if anything, if you followed the reports with regards about our pursuit of Axel. Again, how do you pronounce his last name again? Let me just go back with his first name, Axel. We just heard the first report came out stating that we were close to agreeing terms with our AS Monaco, and then in the next few hours, boom, we've agreed terms in principle. I forgot the language used there. The only thing that is left is for him to complete his medical. And Fabrizio Romano reports that will come after Mohamed Salisu. You can say his believed replacement completes his medical at Monaco. Then he will be given the go-ahead to complete his the medical for his Chelsea move. If that makes sense, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. And there's a lesson to learn there. And we've been arguing that for a few days now, saying Chelsea are actually doing a lot of work behind the scenes. And the problem with the fans is that they don't know all the players that the club's hierarchy, Todd Boehly and co, or maybe the directors are looking at. So that's the frustration of the fan base. But yesterday, you've seen something that if you're sensible enough, you'd know that, yeah, they're working. And you don't have to know about every transfer target, every player they're trying to sign. As you've seen, you only get to know about it once the club gets to the point of completing the deal. So they found a way to keep all their majority of their transfer activities under wraps. And I like that, really. But that's, by the way, let's move on from that. Hate the fans who pretend to have high morals. Not talking about you. Same clowns 100% do other nonsense. Nothing wrong with being with betting anyway. Again, we all see things from different lenses. It's not the same for everybody, but I get where you're coming from. Let's move on from that topic, really. Hi guys, Lukaku will go to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I think he will. And if I were Lukaku, I'd do the same. I wouldn't even hesitate. That's a huge deal, and I don't think any European club will pay him anything close to that. Jackson, ex-editor, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Logan, Saul Lukaku to City. He is already the best defender in their history. And do you think they'd want him? But I get the joke, though. It's a nice one. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Tango Rido, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. But more importantly, I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this morning. Hi there, Coach. Hi to you too. Been a while. Yep, I agree with you. Since the last time I came here, hope you are well. Yeah, I've been good. And I can't complain, and I hope it's the same for you. Chelsea doesn't want a beating war. That's why we're acting behind the dark. This is poker. Yeah, you have to be cautious. And plus, we have money, and if we overpay for any signing, especially Caicedo, then we're setting a dangerous precedent. And we've been known to pay premium for players, and I've argued before that has to stop somehow. And that's a good start. Not to give in to Brighton's demand of including Levi Colwill in the deal, and also paying £100 million if that's even the case. But I just do not know. But that's by the way. We keep going there. Let's see what else we have here. This is a big up to you too, the Breach CFC. I hope you're doing well. Our scouting team is one of the best in the business. Axel Disasi is him. I am glad we got a tank in the defense. The guy is huge. He's good, really good on the ball. And we'll look at his statistics. Quite a lot to talk about him before we go into the match review. I read somewhere that the Juventus director want to include Vlahovic in the Lukaku deal. I hope it happens. Rumors are that we're not interested in Vlahovic, actually. And Lukaku himself, I've showed you where he said he doesn't think. Let's look at it. Let me not just be saying it. It says Inter Milan fan to Lukaku. See, if you sign up at Juventus, never say Forza Juventus. And Romelu Lukaku responds, no, never. I don't think the deal will go through. That's Lukaku. You can say practically confirming that he will not be going to Juventus. Yeah, if he ends up going there, okay, fine. What do you think about last night's match, Coach? We'll get to that in a bit. If you're still here, unfortunately, we want to address the transfer items we have lined up. Then we'll go into that. Just be a bit patient, if you don't mind. This here says, but overall, it was an exciting match. It was a good game. Lots of positives, not too many negatives, honestly. Lionel Scammy, I hope I'm seeing that correctly. Or Scani, that's double N-I. Lukaku, the best player, Belgium probably. Okay, but not the best player for us. I don't think we'll need him. Let's see what else we have here. We don't need Vlahovic. We cannot give them we don't need Vlahovic, and we can't give them Lukaku for free. We cannot. If we're interested in Vlahovic, it'd be cash plus player for them to give us do some Vlahovic. And Christian David, I appreciate you finding the time to join. Always nice to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Please do let me know in the chat. I really do want to know. And thank you for becoming a member again. I appreciate you. Let's see what else we have lined up here. If for sure that Chelsea appreciate Vlahovic, but as of now, no official negotiations, not even contact. We haven't actually reached out to inquire about its availability and the valuation and all that. But discussion have taken place. I don't think it has really. But that is just my opinion, really. Nothing to prove that has happened. Maybe he forgot before a UEFA Champions League final. He called the Juventus. I don't know. Maybe for some reason we're not interested in dealing with Juventus, or maybe they're not paying up, or maybe because they now want him on loan. They don't want to sign him on a permanent. They want him on a loan. I think that's a problem. Oladipo Mesole, I haven't seen you in a while, brother. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Oladipo says, good morning to you too, brother. And JC, my bro, I appreciate you finding the time to join. Big up Kachila, big up everyone. I can't complain. Smash the like button, people, 112 people watching and only 39 likes, 42 right now, but we should be doing better than that. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. I'm gonna move on to the Lukaku talk in a bit, and once I do that, once we move on from any particular topic, I will scroll to the very bottom of the chat. Why? Because if I continue reading your contributions, then I'll be going back and forth topics, and that is not okay. Do you still believe in Sterling, coach? Not too sure. Hopefully he proves me wrong. I'm concerned, really. I'm concerned. I don't know what happened. Like some of the panelists here have said, he looks lost, and unfortunately, I think that's the case. And Christian David, again, thank you. I appreciate you becoming member again. That will go along with for the channel. I want to move on from this because the video is slowing down my system for some reason, and I just do not know why. Christian David says we should stick with Nkunku and Jackson and maybe get Ivan Toney in January. I'm hearing that's the plan, but we'll get to that in a bit. Fabrizio and Austin both said keep an eye on Vlahovic. It may happen. If Vlahovic to Chelsea, okay. I didn't see that particular report, I have to be honest. This says I don't get why Chelsea fans are so against Vlahovic. I would take him if we get Lukaku off our books, and he is a top quality striker. The question is, would Vlahovic want to come to Chelsea? Because there are other top clubs interested in signing him, and they can offer the Champions League, which we can offer, which in turn leads to the fact that if we want to get him, we'd have to pay him something or get something special in terms of salary for him to say, okay, you know what, I'm joining Chelsea Football Club. But that's, by the way. Let's see what else we have here. Nice, nice attention. Great to. Okay, keep dropping likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Yep, Thomas Bates, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I wish Sterling will start learning Arabic for now. Yeah, so that when the opportunity comes, he just takes it. But I'm not sure what's going to happen with Sterling if he doesn't lead by example. Okay, I'm not sure what to make of that comment there, but I appreciate you in the chat. No one else wants Vlahovic as far as I know. PSG right now don't want him. Rumors were that they were interested in signing him and even reached out to Juventus. So that may well be the case. So only Chelsea. Do we really want him? No. I think we're just being linked with a move for him, but do we want him? I haven't seen anything that suggests we really do want him. But if he comes, fine. Let's see what happens. And Rido says he prefers the one from France than Vlahovic. Eyawahi, is that who you're talking about? Sorry if I type his name wrong. It's not an easy name to spell. So we move on. Let's talk about these. Trevor Chalobah is ready to leave Chelsea as he believes his opportunities will be limited next season. Chelsea have set an asking price of £45 million for the English international. Here's the thing. I still don't believe this. I honestly still do not believe this rumor. I think Chalobah will be important for us if he stays, and I think the club knows that. And even before we signed Disasi, Axel Disasi, I argue that Trevor Chalobah stays even if we sign one more defender, and we don't have numbers there really. We don't have numbers there. Bad boy, but Yashile is still out. So if we sign him, it will be him, Levi Colwell, Thiago Silva, and who again? For the center backs. So I think we need numbers there, and I don't think we have enough. Maybe if the manager feels like, we can sell him if we want to. So I'm not too sure whether to believe this report or not. Let's see. As a person, as per reports of PSG, don't want him anymore. Okay, thank you for correcting that. And that's is that Robbie Bernard? Let me see. Okay, maybe I need this up. It doesn't help actually too far. Robbie Bernard says we have Broya and Jackson would go for Tone in January, but I don't see us getting Vlahovic. The possibility is there as long as it's not been sold. And if we're to believe the reports that he's Juventus has put him up for sale, then the possibility is still there. Coach, you are provoking me by displaying what my background. But Usman Ishak, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Some United fans mocking Disasi. I think it's that Disasi or Disasi mocking Disasi on Twitter. Maybe we should pay 90 million for a world-class player like Maguire. Yeah, exactly. Tell them that. They paid something special. Said sorry, I don't understand what you're talking about. But I like your okay. Oh, maybe English is not your first language. Unfortunately, sorry about that. Let's see. 45 million for Chalobah. I think it's hard to sell him with that price. Maybe around 30 or so. I don't think we'll sell him. I think he stays, but that's just my opinion. Except as this particular reporter suggests, if Chalobah pushes to leave, then maybe it would be open to sell him. But he still has, again, about I'm not sure how long he has on his contract, but I'm quite sure more than 3 years or so. We may well not be in a hurry to sell him because we're going to need him. And hopefully he's fine, more importantly, because he had to leave the field with an injury. I'm not too sure how serious that is. This says PSG is the only club interested in Vlahovic, Kuchila. No one else. However, Moani is the player PSG want right now. So maybe they're no longer interested in signing Vlahovic, but Moani. Coach, you're oh, okay. You're provoking me by displaying this Lukaku video because I don't see his face. Okay, we're gonna move on. We've moved on from the Lukaku conversation anyway. Why he is a signing Arsenal would make not Chelsea. And I've heard somebody I trust told me with regards to why his behavior, and I'm quite sure if the club learns about that, I think they will not be interested. They will again they will you can say move on from him. They will not be pushing to sign him, but that is just my opinion. We move on from that. What else do we have here? Brighton are prepared to allow Robert Sanchez to leave the club on loan with Chelsea, keen on the goalkeeper. I think if we're gonna go to goalkeeper, let's get one on a permanent, not Robert Sanchez. He's falling out with Deservi, the Brighton manager. So we don't know what transpired between the two of them, but chances are if he has a behavioral issue, for I don't know the right way to phrase it, then chances are it happens at Chelsea again. So I would look beyond him, and I'm not too sure how good he is with his feet, but that's just me. If you know him that much, you go ahead talk about him in the chat there. I mean, by displaying Lukaku's video, I've moved on beyond that particular topic. Hope you're fine now. Even if while he was well behaved, he should stay far away from Chelsea. I'm not going to even get into what he did. What do you think about Modric for the upcoming season? I think he will cook. I think he will do well. We've seen glimpses of what he's capable of doing. He's a fine player. I knew him before we signed him. So when people were complaining, fearing that we've overpaid, fearing that there's a chance he's not going to live up to expectations, I haven't done that. I've always preached that he will come good. And I think this is a season that happens. So because we've seen a manager that's shown that, again, you can say he seemed a bit different. He looks a different player under Mauricio Pochettino. He looks confident, speaks boldly about what he is capable of doing at Chelsea. So I'm happy to see that. But I keep an eye on him. I think he'll do well this season. I think loan Sanchez as a competitor for Kepa is not bad deal. It's not, but question marks on this. Again, I still don't think his distribution is good. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I need to look at them more. And we can sign Maignan. Maignan isn't coming to Chelsea. He even openly said he doesn't want to come to Chelsea, according to reports. Let's see. Jackson's first touch are looking better than how many strikers we've had recently. Movement and composure also looking good. I like him so much. He has so much going for him. He's an excellent footballer, an all-round striker. You can say the ideal striker for Mauricio Pochettino. He can mold, you can say, a hurricane out of him, but I think he's a different player. He has more, you can say, to his game than a hurricane, but that's just my opinion. Maybe I need to look at him even more, but I like him so much. And what I like mostly about him is the fact that he's not selfish. But that is just my opinion. Morata had a good touch. If you're talking about maybe if you're not going that far, but if you're going that far, Morata has a good touch, and it's you can say he's not just stereotypical number 9. He has more to his game than some of the strikers in question, than the likes of Tammy Abraham and Romelu Lukaku. But let's move on from that. And Tune, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. 59 likes. Let's get it to 100 and shoot for 200. And then we haven't actually reached the 300 since this transfer window started, opened. The most we've done is 275 or so. What happens with it's something I honestly, it's not pleasant. I really do not want to paint that, try to describe the situation to you here. Maybe if you research it, I think you'd see it. I thought the board are in doubt about Turkey's behavior. I've heard that too. What happened? I don't know. Do I believe it? I say no. Because yeah, show me what happened. I think probably because we're interested in signing Kudus, who can play in the 10th position, and Turkey are more comfortable playing centrally as a 10. So maybe the club's preference is Kudus and not Turkey. So people just make up what they want. And Bobby, nice to see you. Bobby says smash the like button, subscribe, and support the channel if you haven't. Appreciate that. I haven't forgotten. Even if we end up not doing the giveaway today, we'll still do it tomorrow. Doing it today depends on how many people we'll have in the chat. And if I see the OGs, maybe I'd force to do it. But Bobby, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Coach, how do you rate Pochettino? Could you name a manager at the level you see him? Honestly, that's a difficult one to answer. I'll just tell you, he's a good manager, honestly. But unfortunately, he hasn't won too many enough trophies to again. I wouldn't compare him to Pep. I wouldn't compare him to who again, because those managers have won trophies that Pochettino hasn't won. But do I think he's a good manager? Yeah, I think he's a good manager, and I've seen enough to come to the conclusion that he'd win stuff. He will win stuff at Chelsea if we equip him, if we sign the right players, if we, you can say, bring in a good reinforcement. I think he will. He will win stuff for us. I'm just going to leave it at that, really. Let's see what else we have here. Yes, Jackson is a Pochettino's a typical striker with a good rate. Work rate, determination, track back, and can pass the ball too. He's not selfish. More importantly for me, I like that in my strikers. Any possible chance we may challenge for the Premier League title this season? I'm going to tell you what I've said 1,000 times. Do I think we'd do well? Yes, I believe we'd do well. How well? I don't know. But I think we'd do better than a lot of people expect us to do. That is just my opinion. Coach, what is your opinion on Disasi? I think he's a good player. Clean tackle, reads the game so well. Forget the comparison to Maguire. No, I think he's way better than Harry Maguire. Honestly, in my opinion, I have now seen him, but some are saying he is prone to errors like a French Maguire. Is it true? I can't say that. Honestly, I wish we can snatch Højlund from Manchester United. That guy is another Haaland. Maybe. Again, I'm happy with Jackson. Honestly, I'm not jealous. Actually, look how much they paid for him. Yeah, I agree, Coach. Maybe Kudus will come next before the DM. I think so. Maybe. And question Bobby asked the other day. It doesn't look like we're looking for a traditional DM, but that is just my opinion about it. Chile is the player who can be the wall of China. Yeah. For Chelsea. He's an excellent player, and I hope he recovers soon enough. Much love to all in the chat. No trolls or Chelsea chameleons on my Christmas card list. Wow, Bobby, that's ouch. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Let's see. Big up everyone. I am at work and right now. Smash the like button, people, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Martin, I appreciate you. It's weekday. I know you're at work. I appreciate you. Bills don't pay themselves, but much love to you, brother. We finally won a trophy. We've been winning trophies. Mauricio Pochettino finally won a trophy in England. Yeah, he's won one now. It took him just 4 games at Chelsea to win, but at 5 years at Tottenham, he didn't win any. I'm saying Poch is the next Tuchel. I think they differ in approach. Yeah, more direct approach than Thomas Tuchel, in my opinion. On my way, coach, rounded up this afternoon's treatment. Yep, that's a priority, bro. Again, a good thing is that you're recovering, and I think you'll be fully fit to be starting games. Coach, how would you assess a pairing of both Jackson and Nkunku? And they're too good that you don't want to see one of them on the bench and the only one starting. Nkunku can play as a 10 and can play on the flanks. We did see that yesterday. And Jackson can also play on the flanks, given the way you can say his attributes. Both can play together, but it would take time for us to see that sort of chemistry that I believe that you're looking for. I think they differ. They're not like for like. So, which means that they complement each other. I think that it'd be a good partnership, but it would take time before it blossoms. Yeah, fine. You please say what? I'm not sure what you're saying there, bro. Let's say I heard if we can sign a DM, Santos will stay. If we cannot, is that what you're saying? Santos will stay. The board likes him. Poch also likes him. We get to that in a bit, but the reports are kind of confusing. Here we go, back into Chelsea. Yeah, we cannot. I sense that was what you were trying to say there, Coach. To be completely honest, if Chelsea finish in the top 3, as I've prophesied, okay, I believe a show in my tribute will be well deserved. Okay, if that happens, we'll do that and talk about how you've always, you can say, hyped Pochettino, talked about his approach, talked about how well he actually did in England at Tottenham and how underrated he is and all that. Believe me, we'll do that. Nizar is not doing Trevor any favor with this report. The 45 million fee is placed on, it's not from the club. But him putting it to discourage bidders, hence leaving the player in limbo, I think he stays. I think we still need him. The fact that we signed Disasi doesn't mean he leaves. I think it's a believable story because we signed another centre back. Nkunku has scored versus Brighton and Fulham and Wrexham 3 goals with the Blues. Yep, and counting. As the only person in this community calling for a top 3 finish, I think it would be a fitting acknowledgement. Okay, I think we'll do that for you. Let's see, Rhys James, the best right back, or Cucurella. Cucurella plays on the left. James plays on the right. Let's see. A lot of people mention says we will have a good season with our mentality. I understand Poch. Again, initially, he is impressing me. I think he's impressing me too. I like the fact that he wants to win. I will never forget him saying at Chelsea, every game is an important game. No friendly, because this is Chelsea Football Club, if that makes sense. Okay, we'll get to that in a bit. We're not doing lineups right now. Coach, I think you need to refresh your squad. The offense is misfiring, and your defense is going out on loan. Okay, not a problem for me at all. And nobody's obliged to be here. Trevor Chalobah looks like he will leave once the CC is done. Your thoughts, Kuchila? I still don't think he leaves. I hope he does not leave. Remember, this is not him saying he's leaving. This is Nizaki-san saying Trevor Chalobah is ready to leave. I want to see him say that, and then I'll believe it. So this is just absolute nonsense, in my opinion. Let's say Trev was always going to stay, but the PR for him is not helping matters. It doesn't move him. This is not the first time we're hearing that he's going to leave. We've heard that 1,000 times, and sometimes he comes out and says, "Look, blue is my favorite color. I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay and fight for my place." He's a confident player, and yeah, I hope he stays. I meant to say you underrated Poch. I meant, okay, now I understand. I'm going to come to the panel. Roger, I appreciate you finding the time to join. I hope you're recovering. On Mitchell Boy's channel, you were sounding like you were losing your voice. You were just tired. And
yeah, I didn't sleep all night, actually. I didn't sleep for like 48 hours.
Wow.
So, well,
wow. because they were telling us in the chat here that they ran you down. That was the language God of Frogs, the language that we're using.
It was a good show, Coach. It was a good show.
Yeah, it was. I followed it, but I was sleepy too myself. But Roger, Romelu Lukaku, I'm sure you've seen the report. There is still little activity. This is nothing. This is a report that says nothing really from Nizar Kinsella. But there's one showing him where an Inter fan told him, see, if he ends up joining Juventus, he should never say Forza. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. He should never say Forza Juventus. And he said no, he doesn't think. He will never do that, and he doesn't think the deal will go through, which means the only option to him available to him now is to go to Saudi Arabia. I don't know if you want to speak about him, or should you just move on, because we have some transfer items to address. Then we get into the match review.
The only thing good afternoon, good morning, Coach.
Yeah, greetings to you.
And hello, Bobby. I see Bobby's online also. Hello, sir. The only thing that really bothers me.
Big up, Roger.
Sir, a pleasure. The only thing that really bothers me is he's still on our books. The longer it stays this way, the more I'm concerned, if that makes sense.
I'm with you.
I want him gone yesterday, last week, last month, whenever. It's just a bit concerning, because what happens if, worst case, we can't actually find another team to purchase or even loan him out, even though we don't wish to? Then where does and this is the scenario that we talked about previously, and he can't train. He's not. I don't believe Poch will allow him to train with the first squad unless we're depleted up front, and then he's got no case. But he's just so toxic, Coach. He needs to go. His mindset is not right. He's proven on more than one occasion that he's not team orientated.
It has to be about him.
Yeah, he's rather, well, let's be honest, he seems quite selfish, and yeah, he's narcissistic, it seems, and it's a shame. But that's life, I guess. And he just needs to go, and I'm concerned the longer he stays with us. That's all I want to say.
I think he ends up going to Saudi Arabia, in my opinion.
It's possible, but I can see him not going anywhere also. You know, it all depends if he's willing to do it. But he's got such huge hubris, ego, that who knows with that chap.
Yeah, the club is not bothered either way, and the player is comfortable and he's not complaining. But the media antics again has to stop, need to stop. He should call Nizar and tell him to stop writing about his supposed intention. Yeah. Supposed intention, indeed. That is the best way to phrase it. I don't think it's okay that Nizar does that. Just makes up nonsense based on situations. Because we're signing we're signing on the verge of completing the signing of Disasi. Now he's making up story with the regards to the future of Trevor Chalobah. Roger, your analysis on Pochettino, 1 month or tenure so far. I will highlight this and we'll come back to it in a bit. Well, we don't want to be going back and forth topics. And I think if you're on the panel, you can actually make a comment from there. You can actually make a comment from the panel now. I think that's a new feature that says panelists, you two can also comment in the chat from the StreamYard window. You don't have to go to YouTube. Oh, you've seen that yourself?
Indeed.
Okay. Lukaku, Orange Madonna, please, bro. Lukaku. I'm not sure. I think because English isn't your first language, it's difficult to read what you're saying there. Rain, always nice to see you, Rain. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you joining. And Tony Tiger, big up coach and panel, big up chat, big up to you too, Tony Tiger. I appreciate you joining. Roger, that's JC saying hello to you there. And the DJ saying hello to you.
Hello, Bobby. DJ.
Nice to see that. And everyone else in the chat saying hello to all of you. Lukaku is simply draining our energy. He doesn't want to play for us, and it's undecided. I think he ends up going to Saudi Arabia. He himself said he doesn't think a move to Juventus is possible, that he will go through, which means that the only option on the table for him now would be the Saudi offer, and he better take it before they change their mind. The European Championship or championships are coming, and he needs to play. This will probably be his last chance to play for Belgium in Euro. So maybe that's why he wants to stay in Europe. Then he should buy his contract and leave. But he's greedy. He would want Chelsea to be the one to say, okay, we don't want you, we're paying you off. But I don't think the club would do that. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Good afternoon, peeps. Immortal Tech Nick, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well, but I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Bobby, I'm coming to you. Greetings. I hope your treatment process this morning went well. Your thoughts on the Lukaku situation? You want to add to that, or do you want us to move on? I'm all for us moving on because we have other items we have to get through. Then we'll talk about the match yesterday.
Yeah, big up, guys.
Big up to you too, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach. My treatment is an ongoing schedule for a month, but hopefully by then everything will be cleared up.
But you're training on the turf now.
Yeah, I'm coming back to fitness. I'm doing some grass work now. I'm on the grass.
That makes us happy.
That's where I met Roger and told him his loan move is terminated.
Yeah, we want him back.
We wanted
funny
him
guys.
back.
Funny guys.
The fans were up in arms with that move. They were like, "What's this? Bring our Roger back." And that. Listen, we're in interesting times, aren't we? We're in very interesting times, also very exciting times, also very unique times, also very Chelsea-esque times. We're getting people nobody knows. We have our detractors. The funny thing about this is that, you mentioned Nisak and Salah. I found that the Chelsea trolls and detractors are confused. They're getting really furious and they don't know where to target, how to hurt Chelsea anymore, because everything they have used to label against us, we've got the antidote. We're scouting our players, we're getting unknowns, we're not paying too much, and it's just doing their head in. The only thing they've got is Moises Caicedo. And I know you're coming up to things like that. I think that will be our only expense, not only for this time, if we do pay money for him, but for some time to come. I can't see Chelsea having a need to be shelling out big bucks for big players unless we have a need to do that XYZ down the line on a top striker, hopefully when we get back in the Champions League. Look, it's a lot of wait and see. I've been saying this all summer. It's a lot of wait and see. People are already criticizing Disasi. They say he has this error in him, that error in him. I don't know. I think it's left to be seen. I'll rather trust Lawrence Stewart than X or Twitter trolls, as it were. There's talk, of this kid, Leslie, going on loan. Fine, if that's what the manager thinks. That sort of makes me understand that they're all very, very, very focused on the Caicedo issue. Look, we have to be excited. We went on pre-season. We weren't beaten in the Premier League tournament. We actually won the tournament. Yeah, people could say it's a bit of a Mickey Mouse thing. Yes, maybe. But last season, we weren't winning Jack on pre-season. We weren't improving. And pre-season, as I always say, is a barometer. It's not the be-all and end-all, but I would rather do well and have an improving squad, an integrating squad during pre-season than not. So we have hope. We can't be sure, we can't be arrogant, we can't be speaking of top fours, top six, top five, no. Trophies, no. But we have hope of a much improved team, and let's see what happens. The Liverpool test is coming. To me, it's the same as any other test that we'll get in the Premier League. But what really pleased my heart yesterday was that these teams, Brighton, who I think really, they did give us a run for our money, but for the red card, the results probably wouldn't have been as it was. But we played them and we showed them that, they've got some problems on their hands when they meet us in the Premier League proper. Brighton, Fulham, Newcastle, all these teams gave us so much They gave us problems last season. They beat us last season. And to show that we've now kind of put them in their place. I mean, Fulham, yeah, it's pre-season, but they couldn't lay a glove on us yesterday. They just didn't touch us. And Newcastle, we completely outplayed. Okay, Brighton, I think they showed themselves to be more rehearsed, not that they were necessarily better. And of course, Wrexham, we did to Wrexham what we should be doing to Wrexham. Our strikers are scoring. Yeah, we still have some passengers in the team. I don't want to really mention them again, but just one or two. But the youngsters, Santos, Casaday, Enzo, we should be really excited. And our manager, who I have to put my hands up. Yes, he hasn't proved himself yet in the Premier League, but he's showing encouraging signs. My Spurs hatred automatically put me into reject mode when I heard he was linked to us. Didn't want him, didn't like him, didn't want to even have anything to do with him. And he's proving me wrong, and I like that. I like him to come and show, Bobby, yeah, I was with Spurs, but I'm with Chelsea. I'm all Chelsea now, and we're going to win things, and that's all I want from Pochettino. So yeah, I have no complaints. I'm sleeping well at night after our games because we're showing that we're going in the right direction. One last thing, please, before I drop, because I've spoken for a short while. Apart from Caicedo, I have a little concern over this Kudus and Olise stuff because it's not really going in line with how we've been doing business this summer. There's a lot of noise around it. And unless those deals are done sooner rather than later, I suspect we're not even looking at those guys. It's taking too long for how we negotiate without having a reason to take too long. We know that it is a price haggle and a length of contract tax going on with Caicedo. But Kudus, Olise, what's the holdup? Adrock.
All right. I think if we get anything new about that, I think we'll talk about it. Rumors are that we've agreed a personal terms and principle, whatever that means, with Mohamed Kudus. But we will run through the transfers and then get into the match review proper. This is George Benson said today. That Chelsea will bid from Mbappe for a loan deal as Liverpool have entered the race already. Is this legit? Honestly, I'm not sure how to advise you on that. I'm not again well acquainted with that situation. And Mitchy boy, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Thank you so much again for always joining and supporting the channel. Whenever you can, just share the link to your channel and tell people to go check it out. A lot of people on Mesole says welcome back, Roger, from his loan move. Happy he's off the injury list. Yeah, exactly. He's come back for treatment. He's gotten proper treatment, and now he is part of the conversation. Chelsea should stop putting players on 300k plus. It's a waste of money. Do you think that will happen again? It'd be difficult. It's highly you can say the current wage structure is highly. The term is incentivized, right?
Yes.
Which means what you earn depends largely on how you perform. You're not just going to be earning that much money, even when you're playing poorly and all that. I'm not concerned about that. Julius Alma said that Trevor Chalobah is ready to leave Chelsea. I think we've addressed that item. And club set a price tag of £45 million and agreed a 38 deal to sign Monaco defender Axel Disasi. Yep, I think we'll get to that in a bit. Keep dropping the likes. And Julius, nice to see you. I appreciate you joining. Giovanni Jafta, I hope you guys can see now that Kepa needs to be sold. Without him, Chelsea concedes less goals. It's time for him to move on. Really? Okay. Olise is injured, so that makes that one compound the possibility of us signing him. That's how I see it. Godzilla, nice to see you. Yeah.
Coach and Roger, I don't know what you guys feel, but personally, I watched Bergstrom in goal yesterday.
Hmm.
Believe me, I would go for him ahead of Kepa. I know it's a big shout. I know we haven't seen enough of him, but he looked so assured, so capable, so, came out, crosses, used his height, his wingspan. Okay, he's a skinny kid, but, I liked what I saw. And I would give him another chance. Personally, I'll start him against Dortmund. I want to see more of that kid in goal.
I don't think he plays against them. I
It's
think Kepa plays against
I
Dortmund.
need to see a lot
Yeah,
more.
I need to see him more.
30 minutes is from a person that wasn't really neither Slonina or him were really tested. Did they even have a shot on target of any noteworthy? They didn't. So it's hard to say. But I understand what you're saying. The only thing that I didn't like about the goalkeeping wasn't the goalkeeping. It was actually the passes to the goalkeepers. I thought they were I thought they were too dodgy. A couple
Sorry,
of
guys.
these.
I just have to add this. I'll have to be in and out quite a bit today. My treatment is still a little bit in process.
Sure, of
Okay.
So
course.
if I'm quiet, you know why.
Okay,
All
mate.
right, no problem. Smash the like button, people. That is Mr. Happiness is for free. Yep, 75 likes, 25 more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. Tony Tiger saying hello to meet you there. Let's see what else we have. Disasi, Leslie, that's Leslie Gochiku. Are great acquisitions for us in pursuit of our rebuild project. We now must shut the mouths of our haters by signing Caicedo, by paying that 100 million, and still I don't agree we paid them 100 million, but you're entitled to your opinion, and I can see why Chalobah deserves accolades. If he is leaving, he is 24 and has been with us since he was 8. Beyond that, I think he's a good footballer. He's a good defender overall. He may not be the most flashy, but he gets the job done in so many ways. That kid is 6'9", so he will be good for us. Who are you talking about? You're talking about which of them? Please consider liking and subscribing and following us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok too. Get ready for exciting shows and thrilling reviews on Chelsea Perspective. There's much in store for you, and you will not be disappointed. So let's move to the next item. We want to again breeze through the transfer items and start the match review as soon as possible because we don't have too much time. I've made inquiries into striker targets. Targets as they are still considering adding someone to compete with Nicolas Jackson. Yeah, competition is good. I don't know if we should be doing that since we still have Amanda Breuer there. Roger, your thoughts?
What was that about, Broya?
This is Jacob. He's quoting Jacob Steinbach saying that Chelsea have made inquiries into striker targets as they are still considering adding someone to compete with Nicolas Jackson.
I see. Yeah, I think it's probably going to happen because I'm not sure where Broya is with regards to him physically returning. So it doesn't seem, and that's quite obvious. When you tear an ACL, it takes 9 months on the average to recover, and then several months, psychologically and physically to be at top peak, shall we say. So I think there's a strong possibility that would happen, unless who was the chap that from our squad played last night? That actually there was a couple of people that I thought did well as striker yesterday to complement in the second half.
The kid that started in the number 9 position.
Yeah, what was his name? Burstow or something, wasn't it?
I don't remember his name, but he seemed to beat lost though. But he worked hard, and that is expected. I think that's probably his first start.
Yeah, no, it is, and I think it was Burstow, if I'm not mistaken. These are very young kids with zero experience at this level, so to rely on Broya, if God forbid that Jackson is hurt or suspended, whatever the case may be, that he can't play, then you're looking at square one again for Chelsea. You're looking at a team that is probably not as clinical. However, if we can contribute goals from all over the field, you expect hopefully 10, 15 goals from Nkunku, 5, 10 goals from Mudryk and whoever's on the right. Then you have to take away the own goals from Sterling, but I'm just kidding. We should be better off than we are last year. We really should be in the goal difference by far. But we can't put all our eggs in one basket on one player. Plus, I'm not saying he's injury prone, but he does have a history of missing games, and it's hard to, especially in this league, to find a striker that can play 38 games or at least 35, because you're going to miss 2 or 3 because of the rotation around Christmas. So yeah, that is one of my biggest concerns, along with 1 or 2 small other ones, like at least one other goalkeeper and another midfielder. I'm not sure how much we're willing to spend. Listen, we just spent £38 million on a centre back. Now, I don't know. And unless I'm trying to think. Who do you think would be available for us, or who we would go after? I'm not sure.
I think the Vlahovic, it's a Chelsea rumors are picking up from.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
But do you think there's other? So if you look at the acquisitions that we've made, these were quite revealing. We didn't know anything about them. So do you think there's some gems that we could, like Jackson is a gem? Come on,
he is. Yeah.
I didn't know Jackson before we acquired him, and I didn't know he was going to be this good. Seriously, I mean, put your hand up if you did, and then I bow down to you, sir or ma'am.
Yeah, and the biggest learning to learn from what happened yesterday with regards to the reports of how he signed. You could argue that deal is done. Here we go from Fabrizio Romano. Axel Disasi is that.
Oh yeah.
Don't bro. These guys, they know what they're doing. If they want to play, they get them across the line. And the Caicedo deal, for reasons we know, we don't want to overpay. So just don't be concerned. Be rest assured they know what they're doing, and they get the signings we need. If they deem that again an important, you can say they will bring in signings that will help us solve issues.
Yeah,
that's how I.
Do you know what? I actually currently have full faith in our scouting / acquisition team with the directors and the scouts. I really do. I think they're doing. You mentioned earlier at the beginning of this show, Coach. You mentioned that that we need to stop this overspending, playing premium. Well, this can be done by purchasing players like a Jackson or a Santos, etc. Where
even the CC, we didn't pay that much for him.
No, I mean, compared to today's market.
Yeah.
If you told me 5 years ago we're going to play someone with no experience, 38 million, I would have spilt my cup of tea. Let's put it that way. So you've got people like Lawrence Stewart, Paul Winstanley, who was Joe Shields, of course. I think we have to put our faith in them, and I'm pleasantly surprised and impressed. So long may it continue. But I would rather them bring in another gem like a Jackson than
I think we'll do a lot of that.
But I prefer that to spending 70 million on Vlahovic or player X, Y, or Z. It's that simple. That's what I would want. I don't want us paying premium anymore. I really don't.
I think we will every now and then. It depends if there's a special talent.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes, that helps the club reach certain market. They would do it.
I get it. Like if Bobby's available, we splash out. I get it.
Yeah. Let me catch up with what we have in the chat here. I'll come back to you in a bit. Stays or what? I'm not too sure what happens. But I don't think even if he stays, it's not going to play for Chelsea again. And the blue tiff again. Big up to you, brother and partner. Welcome back. Roger loves to seek from his Fulham esque style loan. Not all loans are successful, but at least we now have an accurate evaluation now for him. Love you, Roger. Much love to you, to the blue tiff again. I'm sure Roger
likewise, likewise.
Bergstrom is 6'7", the goalkeeper. Okay, thank you for that. Not taller than Godzilla. Okay. You are how many feet? I can't do the conversion there, but Chalobah and Gallagher could be a good squad players for Chelsea. Chalobah isn't a squad player. Chalobah for me is a starter. He needs again, and on the Poch, I think he will become even better. Why look to sell when Chelsea can use them up for rotation? That's the reports again didn't say Chelsea again. In the case of Chalobah, this is saying the Chalobah reports are saying that Chalobah now wants to leave Chelsea. They say Chelsea now wants to sell Chalobah. Maybe use them in cup games. No, I'd rather we sell them or loan them out than use them just in they. Especially a Gallagher that's a good player in him. He just needs to be coached properly. And I think if anybody will help him become an even better player, it is Mauricio Pochettino.
Yeah, you know what, Coach? He didn't get the opportunity to play consistently, because he was never considered a starting player. But I think if he plays week in, week out for a season or two, you'll see an improved player with the correct coaching staff, of course.
Yeah. Roger said, God forbid, I thought he is what? Okay, I'm moving on from that one. We cannot rely on Broya. We're not too sure whether he comes back the same or whether we see the same story. That's very common with players who stays out. Players who stay out a long time due to an injury. Usually, in some cases, some of them don't come back the same. I hope that's not the case. Coach, what happens if Poch says he would like to give Lukaku a second chance? I'm not going to say anything. He deals with it with the fan support. I don't think they will, but I don't think he does that. Let me just leave it at that, really. I will support as what I have seen from Poch. Yeah, I like Poch. What happens when Lukaku awakens to the fact that no club in Europe wants to pay his salary? Can this happen? No club wants to pay his salary. It's happening already. So it's up to him now to find and the club to find a solution. So both parties will go their separate ways. But I'm not too sure how this relationship ends. Let me say that relationship between Chelsea and Lukaku, how that will end, I don't know. Big up to you too, Fairboy. I appreciate you joining. If you're watching, Fairboy is an excellent football analytical mind. If you can click the three dots to his name, go to his channel, check it out. I think you will love his analysis, specifically when he talks about Chelsea, but he knows football overall. Big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. Gallagher played consistently under Lampard. I think the time for patience is over in a way. We need to start pulling towards the top again. It's not up to me. Chances that he stays. If he leaves, I'm fine. If he stays, honestly, I wouldn't complain that much, but that is just my opinion. Let's see what other item we have lined up here. Let's knock them out as soon as possible. We have internally decided on targeting brightest Robert Sanchez as a goalkeeper to provide competition for Kepa Arrizabalaga. Rumors are that he fell out with Deservi, the Brighton manager. It looks like he's not well behaved. I'm not too sure what happened. I can't just jump to conclusions. Nobody told us what had transpired between him and Deservi that has led to him not starting for Brighton anymore. But beyond that, the fact that we're looking at him, we've talked about him before, and I've asked the question how good he is with his feet, his distribution, and nobody has answered that question. I don't know him that well to present a solid argument as to whether we should sign him or not. I don't know, Roger. You have anything to say about that?
No, not really. I mean, how old is he?
Robert Sanchez, how old is he? Let me check.
He's a pretty big guy, isn't he?
I'm not sure his height and everything. My concern has always been how good he is on the ball and all of that.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, listen, but to be honest with you, at the very least, Kepa needs competition.
He's 25.
Okay, so that's he's entering his prime. He's a few years away, but Kepa needs. I think
6'6". Sorry.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
He needs someone, preferably with more experience. To be honest with you, but that is not an end-all, be-all factor for not getting someone. But he needs someone that can compete. I don't want someone that's just going to be quote unquote a backup, which in actuality is whoever is the starter. The second keeper is a backup unless there's an injury or cup game. So I want someone not just to be a backup that's like 38 to 40. I want someone that can push Kepa, like a Mendy. Do you understand? I want there to be where they fight for it. You know, not literally fight, but where it's so close, it's hard to tell, if that makes sense. And every position, without exception.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is our coach and panel, Mr. Smooth. I hope you're doing well. Again, hi, coach and panel. Are you guys not worried about getting Caicedo in time for Liverpool? No, I'm not worried, really. Even if we sign him,
I am.
Again, he doesn't have to play against Liverpool. He doesn't. I don't think he'd be.
No, okay. You know what? You're right. He doesn't have to, but it would be a big bonus if he is able to play competently and fitness-wise for Chelsea. Because it's 3 points. Whether we play the 20th team or the ranked number 1 team, 3 points is 3 points. We can't afford to drop points at home. When we play the top 6, we need to, at the very worst, get a draw. We can't afford to drop points with the upper echelon teams if we are to be in Europe next year.
Let's assume we get the deal over the line today. I wouldn't have actually advocated for him to start that game. It's usually a risk, but that's not my decision.
Coach, when does the season start? The 14th or something? I can't remember.
Let's look at it again. Let me look at Chelsea's schedule again.
Sorry.
Well, my point is he doesn't have to play against Liverpool, even if we get the deal across the line today. I think we have good enough players to face them and beat them. And I'm glad we're going into that game as the underdogs. Really, we play Liverpool on the 13th of August.
Okay, so 2 weeks away to the day, I believe. So
you could say 2 weeks away.
Yeah. So he needs to be signed the next day or two for him to be able to play and understand what we're doing, training every day. And the longer that we don't sign him, the longer it's delayed, the greater the chance of him not playing. And I believe, this is just my opinion, Coach, I believe that this reduces our chances of being more successful, ergo either getting a draw or a win. That's my opinion.
Yeah. All right. Let me get the rest of what we have in the chat. And if you're in the chat, please, let's try and keep the topic aligned. I enjoy interacting with you, but it doesn't help switching topics like this. And that's why I said the moment we switch topics, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. It's not okay to switch topic and then be reading comments that's referencing the previous topic that we discussed. And the rest of the comments here says about getting Caicedo in time for Liverpool. Do we start James with Enzo or trust Sanders? Starting James in that as a pairing with Enzo, I think will be an experiment. I'd rather we start Sanders, who's played centrally and deeper again for a while now, and not James. James hasn't played in that position for a while. I think it will be a risk. We need to be careful not to put too much pressure on Jackson's shoulder. Broya is still a few months away from starting. We have no natural number 9 backup. Keyshawn, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Appreciate you joining. Big up to you too. Thank you for joining. Common Americans, are you guys telling me you're not paying for shirt sponsorship for the winner of the first ever summer series, a Premier League summer series? Pay something. I'm not, again, let them take their time and get a good shirt sponsor, because usually the length of the contracts are usually up to 5 years plus sometimes. Gallagher's first touch and ball carrying is abysmal. Okay. I'd be shocked if you didn't talk about Gallagher today. We lost the midfield when Gallagher and Caicedo were introduced. I think you could argue that, because two of them, as much as they have the good sides to their games, reading the game and you could say knowing where to go with the ball, or reading the game, breaking up opposition play and all that, or dictating the pace of the game isn't their strongest suit. But they did okay, really, in my opinion. But yeah.
Coach, you know, sorry, yesterday, that point, I like Gallagher. I try to defend him, but I wasn't against that point. I saw it. There was a gulf in class when Enzo and Santos left the midfield for Gallagher and Caicedo. Absolutely. But I still was talking about the usefulness. He's not our best player. We all know this, but he's a functional player and his functionality is helpful. That was the only point I was making. But of
Mm.
course, Enzo and Santos in particular, with every game, he's looking more and more the part. That kid is a giant and he's only 18 in
Yeah.
terms of his performances. So, I get it. Gallagher, yeah, I'm very, very fond of him as a person, as a player. I think he helps the squad. I love his attitude, but I would never say that he is the best in that, certainly in the sixth position.
But Bobby, can I say something though? I think the chopping, the stopping and starting constantly, especially the last 30 minutes or so, I think
Didn't help.
that it didn't help at all. And there was
And Poch did instruct them to be doing short passing, and that didn't help. It put them under a lot of pressure.
sure.
Because when he said, "Okay, guys, change it. You can play long," then they started putting Fulham under pressure again. So I don't know why he did that. Coach said that it's probably a tactic, and I think it is. Maybe
They
he just
practice
wants
everything during preseason. So sort matches
Yeah.
they can say, let's try this.
Can,
Let's
can
try.
I
Yeah.
can I just say though, I want to say I have noticed though, since this preseason started with the preseason matches, that Gallagher is, shall we say, he's able to, I think he's got bigger, but I think also he's progressing the ball far better than I've ever seen him do before. It's noticeable.
He's improved. He's
Yes, he
definitely
has.
improved. You don't have to be the star player. That's the point I'm making. And
No, I get
sometimes
it.
there is space in a squad for a functional player, especially one that can finish and take dead balls like Gallagher.
And also notice what he did defensively again when he was on. He did well, blocked a shot. He's the little things, It's off the ball. Listen, what's his name? Enzo had two opportunities to score. He's not clinical, Enzo. He reminds me a bit of the Man City with the player we just Kovacic that went to Man City. He reminds me of him in that regard. He's
Only
just got
Enzo's a kid, isn't he? He's
yeah,
going
yeah.
to learn.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing him. I'm just observing, and he can improve. But you have to believe that if Gallagher is in that situation, he's probably going
he's
to
scoring.
he's putting it away, and that's the difference. Yeah, he's not as technical as Enzo, certainly, especially with his first touch. But you have to understand this game is predicated on scoring, and people like Gallagher can score.
Yeah. Listen, I have to pop out for 10 minutes, chaps. I'll be back.
Okay,
All right.
Radim.
Someone to push Kepa. The contrary, I want someone who Kepa I can push. Okay. Let's see. Coach adopting the principle: the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We should bring Sanchez in immediately. We hate Brighton, deserving in their fraudulent board. Maybe we should get him for that. And please, I'm going to beg you guys. I'm appealing to you. You again you can have conversations in the chat. But if you want me to address read whatever you have in the chat, let it be aligned with the current topic. Otherwise, I'm going to skip it. Yeah, you can have conversation all you want. It's your business. Sanchez is better than Kepa in all aspects. Okay. The fact that we lost 6 midfielders and we don't miss any of them makes you so excited. Makes you so excited about the future. Get Caicedo, and the midfield is good. That's a recamp. Okay, thank you for that comment right there. Gallagher is a good kid. Nothing against him. Just haven't seen anything yet. Okay, your opinion. Kepa only knows how to push the manager and to stay on the pitch for matches going to the penalty shootout. Okay, Chilwell has a terrible touch as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Bobby, I like what you said. See, it helps to see different perspectives. We have two midfielders who are not game dictating levels. That midfield engine, is the head of any team. I agree with you. So we have to switch to the next item we have lined up here. Not too many stuff here. Last year, let me see. Says last year Liverpool midfield went missing, and they were in trenches with us. A midfield that is required to run the flow of the game. Those two lads are way off. Enzo may have not have scored, but yeah, I take his ability to read the game, dictate the pace of the game, and all that. It's a loan, I guess. Sanchez, I don't think if we want to get him, I don't think we'll go for a loan. It's better than Sanchez. Okay, let's see what else we have here. We have to be realistic. When Chelsea reached the heights that we all are used to in competing for the league and the Champions League regularly, even Gallagher will admit that he shouldn't be here. Wow, you're such a nice person, really. Brighton got new goalkeeper. I didn't know that. Russia, nice to see you. But Enzo's first task was to control the game. But when you get a chance, you have to put it away. I'm not going to be with you on that one. That's why I said keep Gallagher as a squad player. I'm not going to be selfish. I think he needs a proper coaching. Maybe even if he stays under as a squad player under Mauricio Pochettino, maybe he will help him become better. Let's see how they do on the pitch. In fact, they were two of our best players last season. You could argue, but that is your opinion. Sanchez is by no way better than Kepa. Okay, that's according to you, Presley Chidi. You've looked at numbers and you're coming to that. Revealed both of their stats, and Sanchez is horrendous. Really?
You know what?
Okay.
You know
Has
what,
anyone
Coach,
seen?
Coach, listen, stats for goalkeepers can be very deceiving. You know, listen, I believe Kepa had the best stats in the Premier League last year. Was he the best goalkeeper? No. You know, what's his name? Liverpool's goalkeeper conceded over 50 goals. Does that mean he's responsible for all 50 goals? No. You know, so listen, I'm not saying Kepa isn't better than Sanchez, but to say Sanchez's stats are better than isn't as good as Kepa's, those are very misleading, to be honest with you. Listen, I like Kepa, but I'm just being honest. I'm being impartial here. And goalkeeping stats, you know, like when you save a shot, but it's like a miss hit, and it's basically the equivalent of a back pass, that's considered a shot stopping event. But that really shouldn't go into the statistics, but it does. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these are deceiving in many regards, but I get what he's saying.
Yeah, and for those, again, I just want to appeal to those of you that are watching, but for one reason or the other, not able to participate in the chat, just so that we appreciate you. And we want you to do us one tiny bit of favor. Just take a second, drop a like on the stream. The likes to go along. We appreciate you all. 86 likes, 40 more to get it to 100. Let's make that happen. Has anyone seen John Stone play? He is a great shot stopper. Okay, I'm not sure what you're saying there. Chelsea fans are thinking that Mbappe is coming to Chelsea because Enzo said when we won the Premier League summer series, he said Mbappe and even here. Wow, I didn't hear that myself, but okay. Enzo has to improve his goal chances. He misses clear chances. Gallagher is better. Better in terms of scoring. Enzo has to be on point. Given the chances to be offensive. Okay. Best stars in Premier League last year was for De Gea, not Kepa. Okay. Kepa did win the save of the year. Okay.
No, I think there's multiple different categories, Coach, where you can have the best shot stopping percentage or the most clean sheets or whatever. There's multiple categories that you can say one keeper is better than the other. But a lot of them, don't forget, it's a team sport. So it's all predicated on what the defensive line and the midfield do up front, and even the forwards, you know. So you have to watch each game to really determine who is a better goalkeeper throughout the season and not just look at stats, because it's so deceiving.
Yeah, Chidi is saying Alisson concedes the same amount of goals as Kepa, 46. He conceded. Okay, you're saying Chelsea should have signed Onana. But how about the fact that Onana didn't want to come? How about the fact that, again, you can say Inter priced us out of Onana? That's how I see it. We can't just pay them what they're asking. Yeah, but they want Lukaku for free. Is this Rogers a full-time job? He also appears at Mitchell Boy's channel. I'm not gonna answer that question. Why did I even read it? Good day to you too. I hope you're doing well. Let's switch topics, people. We have some items we have to get through, and then we start analyzing the game. Sanchez, Brighton are prepared to allow Robert Sanchez to leave the club on loan with a Chelsea keen on the goalkeeper. I don't think we should go for him on loan. If we want to sign him, he said I will sign him permanently. I'll go for another goalkeeper, but that's just my opinion. Is France in UK in order to undergo medicals as new Crystal Palace player. Rumors were that we're back in for him. Maybe we weren't that serious to sign him. I'm not sure what happened really. But yeah, we switch. I'm gonna go to the next item. Let me see if I have anything to address here. Onana is terrible. Mind you, did well before he arrived in preseason. Okay, we went for two best keepers on the market, and they said no. Front office believes all the keepers on the market aren't that much better than Kepa. Yeah, I've done some research myself. Some of them aren't that much better than him. Onana might get a suspension from taking the rights again. I don't think he'd do that again. If he does that, then yeah, he has to deal with it himself. If Kepa was good, we wouldn't be talking about goalkeepers or problems. Strange. Some don't see it that way. 4 years still talking about goalkeepers. Okay. Roger, I fell asleep while listening to your marathon session with Mitchy Boy. I fell asleep. You were discussing Kepa. I get up here and it's Kepa. You're not dreaming. It's happening. But we're moving on to that. 5 million add-ons winning Ballon d'Or for who? At Crystal Palace. Oh, for him, França? Okay, maybe he can win it there. We don't know. Onana did rights before. Yeah, at Ajax. We were interested in signing him then, but after that, I think that was why we stopped looking at the possibility of signing him. Roger loves Kepa because Kepa. I'm not saying that. Let's see what else we have here. We'll move to the next item, and yeah. We're not talking about Kepa Arrizabalaga right now. Right now, let's talk about Andreas Sanchez. This report here says Andreas Sanchez has impressed Mauricio Pochettino and his staff in friendly games, but also in training. There's a chance for him to stay as a part of a first squad, waiting on final decision. More than 6 clubs have asked for Andre on loan from Portugal, Italy, and 1 Premier League club too. I'm going to say this. I don't think we should send him out on loan. Even if we sign Caicedo, even if I think he's good enough.
Who?
Santos.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, there's a leader in him. If you pay attention when he's on the pitch, he seems to be pointing. You see him pointing to his teammates to cover that area. And I did see him on 2 occasions being saving the situation, stopping us from conceding goals. I don't think we should send him out on loan. But this doesn't mean he's going out on loan. The part that I'm interested in is the first part, which says he's impressed the manager and his staff. The second part, I think, clubs are interested in him. That doesn't mean that Chelsea won't let him go. But Roger, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Listen, there's 3, well, maybe 4 players that I would like for Chelsea to maintain them through this upcoming season, and Santos is one of them. I think, he can start occasionally. He can come on after 60 minutes. He can learn. He's young. I think, yes, I understand that if you play and start every week, it's better for you. But the level of competition here in the Premier League, he can benefit from, in addition to understanding Pochettino's and his staff coaching sessions. This is where, just like, what's his name, the Man City player, the Foden. Foden didn't go out on loan, and look at the player. look, he stuck with him. He was coached every week by the staff, and look at the player he is now. And what's it called? The coaching staff said it's like he improved week in, week out. And so that can happen with this chap. He's very young. He's exceptionally young, and he can only get better.
He's way mature beyond his age on the pitch.
Of course he is. Yeah,
yeah.
You could tell he was a man playing amongst boys when he played for Brazil at that under 20, I think it was. It was ridiculous. And that's why he garnered all the awards, and rightfully so. But I would like to see him, for selfish reasons, to stay at Chelsea and succeed, obviously. I think he can. I really do.
Yeah, I strongly believe again. Because we heard Pochettino during the post game press conference, he said that Ugochukwu, that is Leslie Ugochukwu, will go out on loan.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. With that, to me, it translated to the fact that Sanchez stays. And remember, we've analyzed the situation. Actually, there were games where he sat on the bench and Caicedo played 90 minutes, I think, and he's played again. Oh, you could say after the first 2 games, I think Caicedo has played more games than him, which to me translates to the fact that the manager is assured of him, but wants to see Caicedo more. But for him, Santos, I think he's seen enough to know that this guy can actually be part of the first team. And whenever he's on the pitch, he's able to read the game well. He's able to dictate the pace of the game and all that. And it's actually his passes are very more vertical passes than sideways passes from him, actually. And that's okay. I think he stays, honestly. I've told people, again, if you ask me to, again, I've looked at the situation. Caicedo actually will be the one that will end up living on loan.
What about Carney?
Carney, I'm not too sure, but Carney.
What about Lewis?
Carney isn't competing with these 2 guys. Who?
What about Lewis Hall?
I'm not too sure either. His case is unique, honestly. To be honest.
See, this is what I'm saying. Santos, Lewis, Carney, and Caesar. I couldn't tell you which one stays, which one goes. I really couldn't.
Yeah, those guys, because you're not too. Again, there's still question mark with regards to where they belong in the team. What you could say their role in the team. So that's why it's difficult to figure out whether they stay or not. But for Santos, I think he stays. I don't think Caicedo is the one that will stay. Both are good players, but if the argument we've had this argument 1,000 times. We need to free Enzo. We need to let them. You can say have the independence to be more adventurous on the pitch. To do that, out of Caicedo and Santos is the more solid of the 2. He can do again. He has that again. He can read the game better than Caicedo from what I've seen. But let's see.
So who are the 4 midfielders then? Obviously, Enzo is number 1. Then who's his playing partner, and who are the 2 rotational players?
We have Enzo Fernandez.
That's number 1. That's obvious.
One of these kids. Let me just use the term one of these kids because but if you ask me for my opinion, I'll say Sanchez stays. Then hopefully Moises Caicedo. Then one more. Who's that one more person? I think it will be a new signing. I don't see us keeping Caicedo and Sanchez. That is just my opinion, honestly. Yeah. Sanchez has to stay. I feel the same too. I have to be honest here. Let's see what else we have here. Coach, why every Chelsea YouTubers use Pi's tweets? What is the reason they trust him? I don't use Pi's. I don't use much of his tweets because he doesn't use images. But Dodgers, what's the other one? Dodgers CFC. He uses images, and again, it looks more presentable with an image. But Pies doesn't hardly uses images actually. Sanchez and Caicedo are too good to go on loan. I think Caicedo needs to go on loan, but that's just my opinion. I'm on into you too, or Neri Hushford. I hope you're doing well, Neri. And it says all the players I suggest will sign. We are being linked with. Is that the coincidence? You answered the question. I don't know, honestly. Let's see what else we have here. Ikigbe Eugene says, good morning to you too. I have a question of you and Roger. Santos and Lavia, who is better? As for me, I will not waste 15 million on Lavia. I'd rather we keep Santos. I think I feel the same too. Yeah, both are the same age. They're both 19, aren't they? How old is Santos? Let me check again. I think he should be at most 19. So why pay that much money for Lavia? And this guy is taller. He's bigger than Lavia, probably more physical than Lavia. If anything, Sanchez is, that's how I see it too. Chelsea and Arsenal are really cooking this transfer window. Guys, we're having good problems not being able to decide who stays or who goes. That shows you they're all good players. Our talented youngsters is what other clubs can only dream of. I think we've signed a lot of young, talented players. If it was between Carney and Gallagher to be back up to Nkunku, I think Carney would stay. Consider this: CFC were open to selling Gallagher, although he's staying. I think he stays. Let's see what else we have here. Kambi says, Coach, we need to stop saying we have to free Enzo. Free Enzo in the sense some use the term protection. We need to pair him with somebody who's more defensively solid than he is, so which will allow him the independence to be more adventurous on the pitch, if that makes sense. Enzo needs to work on his physicality and the defensive side of his game because that is his weakness. I think Coach, before we signed him, I'm sure we're well acquainted with that weakness.
Coach, he's glaringly. How shall I put this politely? He is. Shall we say he's a risk somewhat defensively. He definitely has his attributes defensively are not strong. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
He does need to work. He's so one-dimensional in so many regards. That's the one thing. The more I watch him, the more, like, if you look at was it the Newcastle goal? It started against him where he didn't close down and they bypassed him after 2 passes. And that's shocking. Talk about where Cucurella was blamed for it. It was a comedy of errors, but it started with Enzo. He played very poorly defensively. He's so one-dimensional. We need to coach our players in midfield to be multifaceted with regards to, yes, you can be technical, you can understand how to boss the game, but look at Jorginho. I mean, Jorginho was a glaring weakness defensively. He was porous in that regard, and Enzo, with all due respect, has the same characteristics as J5 in that regard. He has, yes, I understand he's not blessed with height, but he's not blessed with speed either. So these are concerning aspects where we do need more defensive orientated midfielders. I really believe that, because you're going to see our defensive line be at risk because of that. I think he needs to be coachable. That's a very good observation.
Which is why the argument that he needs a protection makes sense.
Sure, but he also needs to work on his defensive duties also.
I think he will. I think for Argentina, he does well defensively, actually, even though he's a deep line midfielder.
Yeah, but playing in the World Cup is a different beast compared to playing in the Premier League or most European leagues. The pace is different. It's very different, and it shows. It illustrates his weaknesses defensively. It really does.
All right. Kishan says Caicedo needs a loan. He couldn't take the ball pressure yesterday. I think I've seen enough to know that he still needs a loan, because if he stays and he's not playing constantly, I think that will be detrimental to his development. Carney is great at dribbling in tight spaces. Yep, he finds good solutions in tight spaces. And Christian David, I wonder what injury is. Whose injury? I'm not sure who you're mentioning. But nice to see you, Christian David. I hope you're doing well. If you're talking about Chalobah, I haven't seen. Again, I'm not well acquainted with the situation. I have to do my research.
Yeah, he came off, coach. He was injured.
Okay. DM me. I am the boss, and do us like in my office. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. 8 more likes to get it to 100. Let's make it happen and shoot for 200. Review of Pochettino. I will come back to that. Please, we have other items to address here. Lavia will be a waste of money. We have enough young talent in that position. It wouldn't make any sort of sense to spend that much money on him. Enzo is decent on his defensive duties. But I think we've been suffering for, you could say, the parents not being good, you could say, good in protecting the defensive line as a unit. It's been everywhere, but I think that will improve. So I'm not too concerned, really. Says it's rating 51 out of 100. Just needs to get back into a position or his shape as soon again, very fast. This says here, let's see what else we have here. We need at least 5 midfielders because there are games we can use a 4-3-3 structure. We must be flexible, and I'm sure that's the case. I don't think we'll be stuck with just 4-2-3-1 and all that. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. I appreciate you all. And here, let's hope again. Dean Hakim's here to not leave because he got caught being with Fofana on Instagram. I don't think that's the case. No. Nice to see you, Constantine Dante. I appreciate you joining the show. No player should carry another. I think that's a solid argument. Yeah, I agree. But maybe they should complement each other. Is Poch as good as Tuchel or Klopp? He's as good as them. Yeah. But if you're saying, if you bring up the argument who's a better coach, you don't have trophies to, you can say, present a solid argument.
Do you know what, though, Coach?
Yeah,
I've said this a million times. You know, you put these elite coaches and you put them in the 4th division, they wouldn't be able to succeed because what their policies are, like working out from the back, it doesn't work with the, let's say, the 4th division teams because they don't have the ability, the technical ability. Listen, coaches coach, and I get they in my opinion, they get far too much credit when a team wins and far too much blame when a team loses. They really do. This is about primarily execution on the pitch. Does that make sense? To say to compare them, it's a bit hard because, you know, sometimes you listen. I love Tuchel, you know I do, but we were quite fortuitous in some regards to win that Champions League. You know, we won because of Pep's, you know, poor preparation. He tried to outwit himself and it again. And do you understand what I'm saying? It's not always the best team wins, if that makes sense. So it's hard to say. But listen, Poch is Bobby didn't like him initially, and I understand why, because he's coming from a huge rival, a foe, and I've always liked what he did at Southampton. Impressed me more than Tottenham, to be honest with you, because he did so much more with so much less in a lot of regards. Give Poch time. This is a project and it's in the early stages. It's too hard to say how good he is, but I've always liked the fact that he works with youth and he develops them, unlike Jose. Listen, Jose's a great coach in many regards, but he doesn't like to work with youth. He likes players that are in their prime and senior players. So I like Poch because of the fact that he develops youth.
Yep, thank you so much for that. I'm going to come to you right away, DJ. I appreciate you finding the time to join the panel. I hope you're doing well. You're back in the UK, you told us. I hope you did bring back some souvenirs from, where were you again? Romania. So I hope, maybe Haji's booth, his football boot or plates would do. If you did, I'd take it. But that's, by the way, DJ, what you make of this report with regards to the future of Andreas Santos. This is not saying that we're looking to sell him. The second part of the report is just mentioning clubs that are interested. That doesn't mean Chelsea wants to sell him. But to me, I say I will argue we've seen enough. I've seen enough to believe this kid is ready for the first team. If we're looking to sign what's his name, Romelu Lavia, whom I think he'd be, again, I know he'd need time to adapt to the Premier League, but I think he'd become better than Romelu Lavia. Actually, I think he looks taller. from just without even checking. He looks taller, he looks bigger, probably will be more physical overall. And he's a leader. You see him telling teammates where to go, and coordinating the midfield and sometimes the defense, the defensive line. I've seen him again on several occasions being the one that stopped us from conceding goals. Well, what do you make of the report? Do you think we should keep him, or do you think we should send him out on loan?
Oh, big up to you, Cachilla, big up to Roger, and big up to everybody
brother.
in the comments, man. Yeah, listen, for me, he has to stay. I don't think there's any doubts about that. He needs to stay.
Who are you talking about?
Santos.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's been excellent. I think he's probably been one of our outstanding plays. I think in pre-season, I've had a chance to watch all the pre-season games. Even though I've been in Romania, I've had a chance to still stay up and watch them.
What a wife! What a wife!
Like she goes to sleep. She goes off to sleep early, but sometimes she actually sat and watched. In fact, she actually watched the last game with me. I think the last one when I was in Romania, I think was against who was it? We drew 1-1 with. Newcastle. No, Newcastle. Yeah, she actually sat up and watched that with me, and it was actually quite nice to actually, for us to actually sit and watch the footy together.
She's a keeper, DJ. She's a keeper.
Yeah, 100%, bro, 100%. I mean, look, listen. I mean, from what I've seen of them, mate, I mean, Santos for me has probably been one of our outstanding performers in this whole team. For pre-season. Now, people can turn around and say it's pre-season. Yeah, it's pre-season, but we've still played Brighton. We've still played Newcastle. Yeah. We've still, they're still all Premiership teams that we played. They're Premiership and Fulham. Yeah. So it's not like we're playing like teams away, and this kid is only learning from that. This kid is only learning from playing against teams that are not from the Premier League.
Like Wrexham,
like Wrexham, mate. We actually smashed them, didn't we? Yeah, but listen, I've been so impressed with this guy, and I don't think he's gonna go out and learn. Listen, you don't. I think for me, Chelsea have gone and got his permit. They've got it sorted out. You're not going to do that and then say you're going to loan you back out. I think they wanted to bring. I think for mine. Yeah, go on, Roger.
If Caicedo arrives, do you think he stays?
100%, he stays.
Good.
I think the only one. I think the only one that's probably going to go out on loan, and I think you guys have already alluded to it already, is Caicedo. I think he'll probably be the one that will go out on loan. Chukwuemeka, I mean, this kid as well is another one. I would never loan him out either. I thought he was excellent yesterday as well. But just going back to the whole Santos situation now, I'm not worried about him, Cachilla. I think Poch likes him. I think he's that player that Bobby likes to call physical presence in the midfield, and that's exactly what he's got in that midfield. And
and he's only going to get bigger. He's only
100%, mate. Right? He is.
So he's got another 2.5 years of growth left. Wow.
No, 100%, mate. And I think for me, he's gonna be excellent. And I think for the whole season, we've got a gem on our hands, guys.
You don't send such player out on loan. Big up, DJ. Do you need a green screen for those backgrounds? I don't think you need one. I think that comes with the background there comes default with a StreamYard, and if you use Fireworks. I think it works with Fireworks. I think I can send you the settings later. Big up, Coach Panel and chat. True Blue Clay, nice to see you. What are your thoughts on creativity in the midfield? I'm going to highlight this one. We'll address the questions later. Big up, DJ. There's no holiday for proper Chelsea fans. Yep.
Big up, Glenn.
What if we give Santos a loan for Caicedo? I would not even take that too. Honestly, I will be disappointed if we do that. Coach, I am telling you guys, though, keep an eye on Lewis Hall because that guy is looking better and better. His cross is always on target. His dribbling is, again, he's a technically gifted player. Much love to you all. You all keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes to go along with Santos. It's a better pick over Caicedo. I've seen enough. Caicedo still looks a bit more shaky, not too assured of himself, actually, playing with the big boys, maybe, for lack of a better way to get my point across. Silva, again, also we do have Silva helping Santos to settle in, and that Brazilian connection will be good. Would be nice to see Angelo on the right too, but it looks like Angelo will end up leaving alone. The issue I have with Pochettino he's an asterisk coach. Why? Whenever he fails in some regard, they are always he didn't have some sort of resources At Chelsea, he will have every resources to succeed. Okay, let's see that happen. Vote with your feet. I'm not too concerned, really. Constantine Dante Sanchez are not ready to start, but he should stay and learn. Yeah, we're not saying he should be starting, but he should start, get an ample amount again, get ample amount of game time. That will help him. But Caicedo is a bit too raw. That he needs to be playing week in, week out, not to sit on the bench and play 15 minutes here and there. That will not help him. Play cups and sub appearances sometimes. I think that will help too. So let's see what other item we have lined up here so that we can move on to the next one and start again reviewing. This one, Leslie Ugochukwu expected to leave Chelsea on loan as Mauricio Pochettino confirms. We need experience in midfield. The idea for Leslie is a loan move to get some game time. There's only Strasbourg as possible destination if loan will be approved. Here's the thing. This is really concerning. He played for a team and helped the team get Champions League football. They finished fourth. Rennes finished fourth, and now we're going to loan him to a team that finished 15th. I wouldn't be happy if I were him, really, honestly. Roger, what do you make of that? It just doesn't make any sort of sense to me, really.
Well, it's an investment, isn't it? It's basically what it is. It's how old is he?
19.
Yeah. So they're looking long term, obviously. It's not a short term purchase or an immediate purchase. It's long term. And there you go. How much did we pay for him again? 38?
Around that, but I'm not sure. Let me check. I'm not sure, but go ahead. But I don't think
is this the centre back that we purchased?
No. DM, a traditional DM.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I think he was 23. I think it was 23. Coachella, I think.
Yeah. It's the centre back that cost 38. Sorry. Listen, if he's deemed that he needs to go out on loan, so be it. I'm actually shocked. I'd like to see. Didn't he fly over to the States yesterday?
Yeah, to join them, but even at that, Pochettino say openly, yeah, the plan is to send him out on loan.
Okay,
then, I would have loved him to stay.
They identified the coaching, the scouting staff and the executives. They purchased him, bearing in mind that he's a long-term project. It's that simple. Listen, just like financial planning, you have a short, medium, and long-term plan, and this is what they're doing. They're looking immediate, medium, and long-term.
Yeah, this is for me. It just shows maybe we're not seriously looking for a traditional DM right now. That's how I see it.
Doesn't seem to be the case, does it?
Yeah, Caicedo won the Golden Boot, and I think he was the MVP, the FIFA Under-21 World Cup, and his team lost. He is a very talented. We cannot speak ill of him. We're not speaking ill of him. We're just thinking, and again, he hasn't performed to the extent that I think Poch will look at it and say, yeah, we're keeping this guy. You see how Poch, how he's spoken publicly about how good Sanchez has been in training and also in games, and he's been great. We haven't heard anything similar to that.
I wouldn't say he's been. I wouldn't say he's been great, but I'd say he's been very good. Great is too much.
But he's been very good, honestly. But yeah, thanks for the correction there. Loan Leslie to Brighton to get the Caicedo deal on again over the line. It's a risk. They will tap him up. That's what they do. Isn't there a limit on number of players clubs can loan out? Yep, there are. I'm not sure the number. 6 to 7 is what I read, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure the limits are there. If Sanchez only grew a bit more, would be a big difference. You and Bobby should just go away. Always looking for Yokozunas, or let me say Giant, to come play for Chelsea Football Club. But that's, by the way, DJ, your thoughts on this report.
Yeah, I can only assume the reason why he's probably going out on loan, Caicedo, is maybe because we are. I know we're not looking for a DM at this moment in time. It's only because I'm assuming we're going to proceed, and we're going to go all out and get the Caicedo deal over the line. Otherwise, if Caicedo wasn't coming, I don't think this kid gets loaned out. That's all I can think of. In terms of what the comment said earlier on about loaning him out to Brighton and getting part of the Caicedo. My understanding is that he was actually Brighton's target. When I don't know if you guys saw the interview with Disasi after the game, and he was asked by someone from Sky, do you have any play? He goes, I have got a player lined up, but I'm not going to tell you who the name of that player is. And the reports came out the next day that it was actually this kid that we bought from we bought this kid in. It was actually him that was actually their target. So we've actually gone and done one over them and taken their target away from them as well. So I can understand. So in terms of sending him out to them, I would probably ill-advise that, because you better blatantly know he's going to be tapped up, as you said, Coachella. So for me, if he is going to go out on loan, he has to go to Strasbourg on loan. But I can understand what Coachella is also saying, because this team did, he did play. He got his team to 4th position, and then you're going to loan him out to Strasbourg. I mean, kind of like doesn't make a bit of sense. It doesn't make sense in that kind of way.
I don't think he'd be happy with that.
No, in that kind of like way. So. Unless there's any other club, unless there's any other team that we bought that they could loan him out to, then maybe that would be different. But Strasbourg is the one that we're using at the moment, is our team that we're loaning all our players out from. So it looks like he's going to end up going there in the end, Coachella. But I understand what you're saying now as well.
Yeah, I'll get Roger's thoughts on that. Just give me 1 second. Take the keys to the gym and buff them up. Wow. Santos, Carney, Casode, Angelo, they are good enough to say and play a part in the team. But here's the thing. At this age, if you try to buff them up like the term you use there, chances are, again, there's sometimes you have seen players overdo it and end up losing, not being, again, as good as they were before they... You can say
also injury.
Yeah, exactly. It's a risk, really. I'm not into that. Leslie would get a good game time with us, even if Caicedo comes. I still need you can say he's a traditional DM. Actually, for me, Caicedo is more of a box-to-box midfielder. So if Leslie goes on loan, might be another incoming after Caicedo. Maybe that may well be the case. Wouldn't be nice if Leslie was an instant hit and we didn't need to go for Caicedo. It would be nice, but that hasn't happened. I am again on the live stream. Coach made a same comment yesterday about Brighton tapping Ugo up. Just to be sure. I think you are. This is a live show, so don't worry too much. I don't think Leslie was okay. Was a player Brighton, the player they were looking to sign. No proof of that. You would think Brighton need the same profile as Caicedo. So who knows? There's no way to confirm whether that's the truth or not. But that's, by the way, Roger. Your thoughts? I was thinking we were going to keep this guy. He's a big game player. I think
Hello?
I remember watching him briefly playing against PSG. Yeah, so Richard, what do you make of the fact that he's going out on loan?
Well, obviously they identified him.
Richard, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
I can hear you.
There seemed to have been some issues when you were talking. You were going in and out. So they obviously identified him with a loan in mind. So it's a long-term acquisition, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, maybe we'll get to see him against. Do we play Dortmund or a German team? Don't we? So maybe he'll get some playing time, but it probably won't be enough. But listen, this is going to happen in the next year or two, where you're going to see a flurry of purchases and immediate loan outs. So this is the plan, and we just have to accept it and move on.
Yeah, we just have to move on. We have breaking news. I'm shocked at this one. It's moving. We're moving again. You can say with full force, really. But let's look at it here immediately. There you go. This says Robert Sanchez has agreed to join Chelsea. The problem will be the fee and Chelsea. The fee and okay, and Chelsea ongoing talks over a deal for 105 million pounds rated Moises Caicedo. I don't know. How would that be an issue there? I think, are we trying to block to merge the deals? I don't know what to make of this report. Roger, let's start with you.
What was this about? Oh, Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper.
He's saying Robert Sanchez has agreed to join Chelsea, and now the second paragraph is saying the problem will be the fee, and Chelsea's ongoing talks over a deal for 105 million pounds rated Moises Caicedo. I don't know how would that be a problem. It's a separate deal. We're not hearing that we're trying to.
So whoever it is, they like to conflate these two issues. Whenever there's an issue with Brighton, they want to conflate and include the Caicedo deal. They're completely different entities, so it should be no bearing on the fact whatsoever. It's pure conflation.
I'm not too sure what to make of that. DJ, you have anything to add to that? It's picking up, no, but this confirms the fact that we're serious about getting Robert Sanchez. Yeah, but DJ, what you make of that?
It's a weird one. I don't understand why is this conflicting the Caicedo deal. I don't know if it's because Chelsea have turned around and said, "Oh, we'll take Sanchez off you if they want to get rid of him, as long as you give us." I don't know what's going on with that one. It is a weird one. Why has that been mentioned in here? Maybe we might get some more on it. And Simon Jones at the Mail Sport, he's usually a very good journalist as well in terms of what he comes out and says. So it's a bit of a strange one, that is. I don't know what to say on that one, really, to be honest with you, Kajil. It's just weird. I don't understand why it would affect the Caicedo deal at all. It's completely two different deals altogether. So it's funny. It's a weird one.
Let's see. What did he say? What did he say? Okay, I think we should be maybe again, that comment there might have been deleted by mistake. Not another player negotiations with Brighton, please. I am sick of dealing with the club. They have a product we want, so most definitely we'll be talking with them. Chelsea Blue 1905 says Chelsea is now turning to Black Star Club France. What sort of comment is this?
Huh?
Who was it?
I'm not sure. You have to be sure with the language you're using there, because it might come across some people I don't know. We really don't need to be blocking that comment from Star Slayer. I think probably a mistake. It happens every now and then. So Star Slayer, if you're watching, I've seen the comment, and I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't delete it intentionally. I think it was a mistake. Caicedo plus a goalkeeper for 105 altogether will be terrible. I'm not sure. I don't think they don't know. Nothing exclusive about those deals mutually, but I'm not sure what to make of it, really. Again, we're going up for Brighton, for a Brighton player. Like I said yesterday, if they have the product, we'll still go back to them. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. We'll move on to the next item. I don't think we should waste time on this particular topic. This is still about Leslie. He's joined up the US, the rest of his teammates in the US. And let's talk about this guy. The lesson we should learn from it is to be calm and trust. Trust, you can say, the recruitment team. They know what they're doing. And we did talk about this yesterday, that they found a way to keep majority of the club's transfer activities under wraps, and that it's a good thing. People were still complaining, we need the CB, and I remember talking about Fabrizio Romano's report that says, I think we will explore you look at the CBs available on the market, and then we'll make a decision. And this guy, he's a fine player. I'm happy we're getting him. He's tall, good aerially, good on the ball, and we'll look at his statistics soon, and you know how good he is. DJ, I'll start with you. What you make of the signing of Axel Disasi? I like him, really. When Tubeho was talking about him on Twitter, I thought he was joking, but I'm happy we're signing him.
Nah, listen, me too. When I saw this deal was announced yesterday, I straight away went to the old other streams of the so-called Manchester United, Liverpool, and the Newcastle fans, all disrespecting this guy the minute he joined Chelsea, saying, "Oh, he's slow, he's uncumbered. Thank you, Chelsea, for buying a slow coach. We don't need to have this issue." All of a sudden, the cusses start coming out about him because all of a sudden he's not gone to those clubs. And let's be honest, I'm not going to lie to you, Kajilla. Manchester United and Newcastle were favourites for this deal. They should have had this deal wrapped up. In fact, United should have had this deal wrapped up 2 weeks ago. For whatever reason or another,
but he rejected.
He rejected exactly, and they're in the Champions League. But here I am here, and then listening to the old United and Liverpool fans on another stream cussing this player, literally saying he's a B-Tech Badashili because they were teammates together for Monaco. He's a B-Tech Badashili. He's going to be, and I'm thinking to myself, are these guys actually hearing themselves talk about this guy? They're talking about this guy like he's so rubbish. What I've seen of him, he looks excellent. He's very accomplished in the box. He's hot. He's tall. In fact, he reminds me of another legend. In fact, that used to play for us so many years ago in the name of Marcel Desailly. In terms of his positioning, in terms of his clearance, in terms of his height, the way he comes. I mean, he reminds me very much of him. And this kid has also got a pass on him as well. I call him a kid, but he's actually 25 years old. But he's actually got a pass on him as well. And not many people want to look at that. Instead they're just thinking, as I said, those other fans are just disrespecting him. But I tell you what, he's going to be an excellent signing for us.
Just quickly, he was the captain of Monaco, right?
Yeah.
And he's played alongside. I've seen pictures of him, and he's played alongside Badiashile too.
Yes, he has. And everyone was disrespecting the Badiashile signing, but yet we know how he's turned out to be. So this guy's going to be another one. I think he's going to be excellent. I think it's excellent work again by the club behind the scenes to get this deal done. It was out of nowhere. I think this deal came out of nowhere. I understand there was interest in the morning, and then we got the deal wrapped up in the afternoon. So, it just shows you how quick we're moving in the transfer market. And people saying Chelsea is slow and not doing our business, but we are. We're getting deals slowly. We
just don't know what players we're looking at and how far into the deal of getting what certain signings are across the line. We don't know, but that's a source of frustration for the fans. Source of frustration for the fans. But I've advised people, do not worry. They know what they're doing. If anything, look at how quickly we moved on players to know that they do know what they're doing and how quickly we got this one across the line. You should trust them. But go ahead with what you were saying, DJ. Sorry for the
No, it's okay, brother.
I'm on side that.
No, it's okay, brother. No problem at all. As I said, it's as I said, he's going to be an excellent signing for us. As I said, he reminds me very much, as I said, of a Marcel Desailly, who used to play for us. I don't know if you ever had a chance to watch Marcel Desailly play, but this guy was excellent. Roger, you've ever seen Desailly play, I'm sure.
Yes.
So you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about his positioning in the box, his passes. He's good in the air.
Amazing.
Absolute. So this guy
won the World Cup in the '98, right?
Yeah, he did. He did. He was alongside Frank Leboeuf in that Chelsea defense back then as well.
Exactly.
So
and Frank Leboeuf doesn't let you forget it.
He doesn't, mate. He doesn't at all. But he is excellent. But coach, overall, I'm very happy with the signing overall, mate.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 100 likes. Let's get it to 200 as soon as possible. Axel Disasi, are we planning to use him in the first team? Okay. We're planning to use him in the first team. We need defensive reinforcement, and he's a fine defender. How old is he right now? I think 25. Let me
25.
check again.
25, Kajula.
5, yeah. So he's mature. So at least we don't have you can say a bunch of 22-year-olds when Thiago Silva isn't playing, because I think he's capable of playing the lead in the back line even if Thiago Silva isn't playing. And I'd like to see that partnership with Badiashile again when he recovers. And this here says Chelsea need a team goalkeeper, a new goalkeeper to speak to compete with Kepa Arrizabalaga. Up the Charles, Doom, nice to see you. I appreciate you. And Doom, as you can see already, Mitchell Boy saying hello to you. After this transfer window, can we please remove Brighton from our contract numbers and block their numbers? Nope, because that's a chance they have a product we want, and we'll still go back to them. Welcome, Disasi. I like him as a player, really. But the Blues, Chelsea, nice to see you. For Fofana, again, waste of money, just minimal contribution to the team. I hope he recovers from that. He's still very young. And Doom, here's Mitchie Boy saying hello to you. Mitchie, don't forget to share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. They said this about Badiashile, and look how he turned out to be, again, it is basically rivals crying.
Spot on.
We didn't pay premium. We bought the player for cheap, given how good he is. They're not happy. Rivals saying that he's slow like a snail. Look, I'm going to say this again. If you're a defender, pace isn't everything. Pace will go a long way for you. But if you're able to read the game very well, you'll be able to position, be at the right place at the right time, break up opposition play. Even the quickest player on the pitch cannot outrun you. They won't even get a chance to race against you, let alone beat you, because you read the game so well. You can say stop them from actually trying to, I don't know how it's to phrase that to come across effectively. Reading the game is the more important attribute a defender should have. You can be the quickest, but if you're not intelligent, if you don't read the game well, opposition players will mop the floor with you, if that makes sense. So I like him. He's quick enough, really, in my opinion. But Badiashile, for instance, he isn't the quickest, but you can see how well he reads the game. And no matter how quick you are, you cannot outrun him. Chelsea needed to beat Liverpool 3-0. Then rivals should understand how ready we are. Okay, we'll see, Peter Pan. This could mean Chalo leaving and Humphreys on loan. Both of them, I think one of them stays. I don't think both will leave. I think Chalo stays. Humphreys will leave on loan, even after the signing of Axel Disasi. Axel Disasi is a fantastic defender. Rival fans deep down inside again of them, they're crying. They're not just happy. The Sayi was the rock. This guy is good, but I wouldn't go that far yet. Maybe just end it with the word yet. Big up to you too, Tony Tiger. Nice to see you. Facts, coach, positioning is more important than pace for defenders. Yep, that's how I see it. John Terry, Ferdinand, company, Silva aren't the quickest. Even what's the Liverpool defender, the Dutch international, Van Dijk. He's not the quickest. It's just the positioning, the intelligence, the ability to read the game. That's what you need. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. Kukurea showed yesterday you don't need a pace as a defender. Just let the opponent run past you. Roger, do you see how I took my time to read that with so much articulation and emphasis, like he's saying the right thing?
Gotta love it.
I'm not gonna forgive you. I'll be careful reading your next comment. Oh my goodness. For final, I see one and Badiashile, Humphreys. I want Humphreys to stay. I think maybe, but if he's not going to get enough game time, he should go out on loan, just like Colwell did. Maybe that's what he needs to do, actually. CB is set for years as Thiago eventually becomes a coach for defenders. Maybe that's what he ends up becoming. Chalo just went another spot back. You think? I don't think so, really. I think otherwise. I don't see him saying he shouldn't stay if he wants to play regularly. I think we need numbers. Maybe you're arguing because we don't have European assignments, so there aren't too many games to play. The new DM we got, you're talking about Ugochukwu. Whatever his name is going on loan, right? Yeah, that's the case. According to the manager himself, reports Brighton wants Sanchez on loan in a deal for Caicedo. Who's reporting that? they will tap him up, really. And maybe let's see what happens. Cucurella moving like a cooked rooster. Wow. Disasi, with his experience, leadership experience too, would have been sold for 80 million plus 5 add-ons on if he was coming from Brighton. Yeah. And I'm glad we got him. Jefferson, nice to see you. Casade and Sanchez need to stay for this coming season. Yeah, Roger, what do you make of this signing, and what does that teach the fans with regards to being patient with the recruitment team, that they're doing something? You say under the radar, they know what they should be doing, and they are on it. Roger, you have the floor. Did we lose him?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure that DJ will echo my sentiments here, that and Bobby also, that it's good news. It's very good news when all of a sudden you hear of breaking news of a play you've never heard, or a deal that was not advertised. This means that they're keeping their cards close to their chest. You want that. Don't forget, a lot what you hear and see online is clickbait. Do you understand? And it's exaggerated, accentuated, however you want to put it. But these people, especially the scouting team, and I would say the directors, they're doing quite good jobs in identifying. So what they do is they sit down with the coaching staff, with the executives, and also the scouting team. And this is what they do in the NFL. And they identify players who they believe will fit their system and their philosophy. And it's the same in football, I'm sure, to a certain extent. Maybe differs a little bit, but you have people that are the recruitment team, like Macaulay, Jim Fraser, Joe Shields. These people all meet with Win Stanley and Stewart, and with obviously I'm not sure how far the owners go, but they identify that, they sit down and they talk about philosophy, what Poch and his coaching staff with the individual positioning coach, and they'll identify players, and they'll sit down, and the scouting team will come and say, we believe these following players will fit your team and philosophy. What do you agree? And when everyone has all agreed on that, then they will go ahead and pull the trigger, so to speak. And I believe that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this come to fruition. And it's great. This, under the former regime, no matter how successful they were, but it was pretty much freelancing, ad hoc. It was roll the dice, baby. And it was quite a ride. But we're seeing structure in place now. And this is what I wanted to see for a long time. And it's bearing fruit, which is good. And I like the fact that we acquired Jackson, who I couldn't have told you from Adam. I didn't know who he was, and look what he's done. And look, they've identified Santos, all these players, young players, and this is good. This is, quintessentially what we want. It's that simple. When you look at the players that they've acquired, like Omari Hutchinson, Carney Chukwuemeka, I'm not going to talk about Mark Cucurella, but Santos, Badiashile. I didn't know who Badiashile was, and now you've got, I believe, his Monaco teammate that he played with, so his name is Leslie, right? And so this is good. They're doing their homework. They're doing their due diligence. And this is refreshing. This is good, and we should expect more of it in the coming years. So they're going to loan them out. They're going to have a short, medium, and long-term plan. As they say, the Project 2030, and this is good. We're going to be a more, shall we say, organized, structured entity going forward, and it's reassuring. I like this. I like the fact that we're acquiring these players, because this is going to eradicate us paying big money for the most part for all these players. Like we overpaid for Cucurella because guess what? We had no choice but to. Same with, just a multitude of players. This won't happen in the future. We're bringing in youth that we've identified. They'll come through the ranks, so to speak, and we won't need to overpay for the most part. This will be a rarity, if ever.
Yeah, I
Look,
agree with you.
we got Santos for £18 million. I guarantee you, after this season or even now, we could sell him for more. He's that good. We got him as a bargain. I guarantee you in the future we'll look back and laugh at £18 million.
Yeah. Meta of First Doom says, don't think we should loan to Brighton after what they tried with Liverpool. I don't think we should too. This is nice to see all well in joined today. I hope you're doing well, Jefferson. More importantly, nice to be live again with you guys. I am loving this channel. Thank you. Glad you're enjoying yourself, and thanks to the awesome panelists we have here. Roger, you mean like Coach of Falls for our clickbait by reading this? Yeah, thank you for reminding me.
I didn't say that.
To become more cautious next time when I see you type something. 100 likes landed. Yep, thank you so much, guys. 105 likes. Let's see if we can get it to 200 by the time the show ends. Let's move to the next item we have lined up soon. We're getting closer and closer to the match review. Disasi's number. This says Axel Disasi played more passes into the final third than any other centre back in League One during the 22-23 season. He's also a big threat from set piece. He scored. If you see his goals, Roger, I think you will like him. Let's look at the numbers here, and that's from my friends Squeaker. I don't know how you put Squeaker reports. It says 22-23 League One, 1 versus 1. So again, how do I interpret that? League One versus centre backs starts 340. Is it what? Okay, below. Let me see the level in here. Okay, 340 passes into the final third. That's a high number. 236 ball recoveries. That's a high too. Aerial duels 197. Touches in opposition box 51. So he ventures forward quite a lot. Set play expected goes to 2.82. That's high. That's higher than all the striker we had last season. So this guy is some player really. Yeah. What do you make of the stats, DJ?
Oh, very impressive, Couture. That's the stats you've got in front of you. That's very impressive. Like I said, as I said, he's not only, as I said, is he obviously good in the air. People talk about his pace, and as you said, what he's very good at is his positioning. His positioning when it comes to balls in the box, when he clears the balls out. As I've already said. Crosses coming into the box from corner kicks, he's going to be dangerous there. He can score goals for us as well. And people also got to see another thing. He's got a good pass on him as well. What people don't realise either. He can pass some nice passes as well. So, for a he's got a lot. He's got everything in his locker, Couture. People say he lacks a bit of pace. From what I've seen of him, I don't think he lacks pace at all. I think for what I've seen of him, he's actually quite quick. And that's why I keep saying when people go on about saying, oh, they know a player, they've seen him play. I always like to go and watch a player play first before I believe in any of what people tell me. And from what I've seen of him and the games I've seen of him play, I've been very impressed with him. And and the fact that obviously that when obviously United and all these other clubs are looking at him. I thought it'd have been ideal. If we were looking to get another centre back in, should be looking at him. He'd have been an ideal choice. Obviously, a good choice to come in, especially the fact that he's played with Badder, and that would have been ideal for him to come in there and play alongside his old teammate again. But we've got him, and as I said, it's only going to be onwards and upwards for him. And all I'll say to all the people is just watch out for him this season. I think when he does get his starts, he will not actually. Make people he won't discourage people. People will like him.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Roger. What do you make of his numbers? I think it's he's a fine player. You can say these are numbers that some midfielders will be proud of, really. But you're getting that from a defender. You can say that's one of the main reasons why we pushed to sign him. Pochettino likes his defenders to be able to play out from the back end, overlap actually in most cases. But we got ourselves another gem, man. Honestly, I didn't expect us to move for him. People were suggesting him in the chat a few days ago. I didn't know we were actually behind the scenes working to sign him. But Roger, more importantly, what do you make of his numbers? Do you want to see them again, or you good?
This is the chap from Monaco, yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the chap that cost 38 million, I believe. Yeah, as soon as I heard this news this morning, the first thing that came to my mind was Chalobah. This doesn't bode well for Chalobah. So, but listen, I saw.
But don't you think? Even I get it. We're signing. Chalobah should stay. I think
Coach, listen.
Let's say Chalobah was. We had Koulibaly. Go ahead. Let me get your point. Let me understand your point.
Listen, I sympathise with you. I agree with you to a certain extent, but based on what we've seen thus far with this new organisation, the academy players, they've been sold because they're pure profit. Mm-hmm. And I think you can see that there's a strong possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen because, let's be honest here, we're relying on a 38-year-old to stay healthy all season that's going to turn 39 before the year's up. So, excuse me, I apologize. But you're looking at Fofana, you know, obviously out. You're looking at Badishil. I know this chap plays on the right side, doesn't he? So he doesn't play on the left, but so we've bought ammunition, haven't we? In case, so worst case scenario, I wouldn't want to see Koulibaly leave, but does he want to stay now? Yes, he wants to fight for his position, but it's obvious that they either don't believe in Chalobah to be an adequate backup or a starter. I believe this is what it's the message it sends, in my opinion. You don't pay 38 million for a backup. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense quite well.
To be honest with you, historically, we look at like for instance, Levi Colwill. If we had bought him from, let's say, I don't know, just give me a team. Let's say Newcastle Academy or whatever, he would have more. It seems that they value players that come from outside than they do from the Cobham. It seems that I'm not saying they do it, but it gives the impression that they're undervalued. When you look at Levi Colwill, it's maybe he's the exception, but I don't know. This is the impression I've been given over the years.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I wonder what Captain Colwill thinks of Disasi. Disasi isn't a threat to him the way I see it. They can actually both play together. He's left-footed. Disasi, I think, is predominantly right-footed. I haven't checked actually.
Yeah, he is.
No, but he's no threat. He's no threat to Levi Colwill. But I'll check that in a bit. Alisi David says we don't need any Caicedo. Play Sanchez and Goalkeeper. Maturity and experience comes you can come with game time. Stick both of them there, and by January they would have fully adapted. No 100 million for Brighton. I think here to a certain extent, I'm saying, didn't they sign? They signed Caicedo at 19. Right now he's 21. He's played there for 2 years. If we give these kids a chance, I think they can. You can say become as good or maybe even better. But I'm not too sure what the club wants to do. I'm still going to say this. I think Santos stays. They're only saying he lacks a pace because he plays at right back sometimes, and there he looked slower, obviously. So he's that versatile, actually. The show is late. Thank you so much, Elvis Ochiri. I appreciate you saying that. And Elvis, if you don't mind, okay, watching from Nairobi. Good work, guys. I appreciate you saying that. You keep the Blues. You keep the Blue family together. Wow, I appreciate that, and thank you for joining the community. enjoy yourself, express yourself. The only thing we ask of you is just to keep it civil. People want a footballer to be like Usain Bolt. Oh my goodness. We need a Caicedo no matter what. Sanchez is a CM, not a DM. Ugochukwu and Sanchez are yet to prove themselves. The EPL is not patient with anyone. So, yeah. So, as again, Chelsea fans also. Yeah, I agree. Realistic, Roger. Chalo is gone. Why would he stay? Fifth choice, you think? Okay, sixth choice. Wow. Coach, CFC paying 38 million, but also having a similar price on Chalo says maybe CFC do rate a Chalo. I read the issue is that Chalobah right? wants to try to qualify for England and hopes some more game time elsewhere will help him achieve that maybe. Usain Bolt played for United. Yeah, he just trial, I think. It's clear. Is that Disasi? Disasi is a replacement for Chalobah. Chalobah will be sold for around 25 to 30 million pounds, and his wages will be freed up. Pure profit, like Roger say. How much is he on weekly? I'm not too sure. Okay, West Ham are still in for Conor Gallagher, according to Romano. Then they should pay up. Disasi is on 10k pounds a week at Monaco. Was at Monaco because yeah, maybe he hasn't left him, so East is correct.
On 50, I believe.
That's not bad. At CFC, he will be on lower than 50k, maybe 35 to 40. Then as he performs or as a club wins something, that can go up. Chalobah is on 50k. Yeah, so he's not one of our top earners. But we move on from that. Let's see if we have anything else to address. Then we go into the match review. Right, Axel Disasi has never missed a game through injury for Monaco. That's music to my ears, but you could argue until he gets injured, that's when you know that's when you know he's a Chelsea player. But I hope that's not the case. But that's music to my ears, really. Good to hear. Let's get into the game. Roger, have you watched it, or did you watch it live, or have you?
I watched it this morning.
Oh, okay. So what are your observations from the game overall?
There were several actually. Good, some bad, which is only natural. The first thing that stuck out was Cucurella taking the wrong angles on multiple occasions, getting beaten to the byline. He just took the wrong angles. This is something that's fundamental, very similar to a cornerback playing in American football. You must be able to cut off the angle. These are basic, these are fundamental things that you're taught. And he did it twice. That was shocking. It looks like he's never played the game before sometimes. He's naive, I think, defensively. He could just be going through a bad spell, but he did not impress me at all. I was really impressed by Hall and Carney Chukwuemeka. Those two stuck out, even though they played in the second half mostly and didn't really. The second half was it was stop and start. It was really hard to watch, to be honest with you. The game was not free flowing at all.
But that's very common in
no. I get it, but I did like the fact that there were massive substitutions at half time, and I think that should be done in every game instead of like interrupting the game. We basically played with we played with a new 11 after 60 minutes, and listen, Santos looked impressive, Carney looked impressive, Enzo to a certain extent. I liked everyone for the most part. Listen, James looks good. James looked like he's in shape and he looks good. I was really sad to see Chalobah go down. I hope he's okay. Hope it's just a minor knock and nothing serious. But listen, this Jackson chap, he's impressive. And the one thing I liked about Nkunku, if you noticed, he's always in the right place at the right time for tap-ins. Yes, you can say you're lucky, but not really. He's got instincts. He knew when to follow up. Something we hardly ever saw last year, Coach, when there was a shot made or follow-ups were poor. He's a good poacher. He's got natural instincts. I didn't like him out wide as much initially. I think he's better as a cam, centrally playing behind the striker. But I saw him play out wide, and I don't think that suits him, to be honest with you. The goalkeepers did well, but I thought they were put under undue pressure several times by passes that weren't warranted. But as I said, there was many things to be pleased with, especially the first half. Listen, I don't think Fulham are playing that well. They looked out of sorts, but I can't believe we're looking at a team that has only been together a few weeks with all these new acquisitions and these new training staff.
Yeah, they're playing like they've been playing together for a while.
I'll be honest with you. Had I not known anything about Chelsea and you asked me to watch these games and asked me how long have they been playing together, I would have said this is their second or third season together. They look impressive for the first couple of weeks.
Aditya, what are your observations from the game before we start talking about the players individually?
No, listen, I was very impressed last night. Obviously good and bad in the game, but I thought the first half, I thought we were excellent. And like Roger said, I think last year, and I think for a couple of years now, I think Roger, even in the year we won the Champions League, I think what we are missing, as you said, is someone that can actually run up, someone that can put those tap-ins in. You do all that lovely natural instinct. You do all that beautiful play like we saw at Chukwuemeka last night. And what we did see at the end of that, after the end of that move for that second goal, was Nkunku was there to put the ball in the back in that second attempt.
But I thought last year we were better at hitting.
We were, but I don't think we were. I don't think we were like no. For me, last year, I think. Listen, I don't.
We were much better at hitting the post last year.
Oh yeah, 100. Oh yeah, definitely, mate. 100%, mate. That's what we were known as last year, mate, weren't we?
Yeah.
No, I know you are, bro. I'm just going along with it, mate. I'm just going along with it. No, but no. Listen, I thought, as I said, I thought the plays overall. I mean, Nkunku, that's what he's there for. That's what Nkunku to be. And I remember a lot of people were doubting Nkunku when he was coming about him when he came. And people were saying, "Oh, it's pre-season. Don't get overexcited." I'm not. It's only because I've seen the way these guys played in the Bundesliga to say that he's been an excellent player, and he'll continue to be that. And I think he'll really do well. I think the Prem suits him to the ground. I think he'll suit him to the ground, and I think he'll do really, really well. But I tell you what, we talked about Nkunku, but the one player that keeps on impressing me every time now I've seen him now, and Kachila said it as well, is Jackson. This guy, this kid, I mean, he's going to give a lot of defensive issues next season. I can tell you that now. And people are saying, "Oh, again, don't talk before it all kicks off." But seeing what I've seen of him so far in pre-season and what I saw of him in Spain when he was playing, he's exactly that. He's on you. He'll take you on. He'll get a foul. He's not. And what I like about him, Kachila, he's not a selfish player. He'll do all the hard work and then he'll pass the ball for someone to go and score a goal. And if he doesn't go, if he doesn't, where you saw with some of our players last season, they will run, they'll go and they'll shoot themselves and miss. 9 out of 10 times they'll miss. But this time around, they don't do that with Jackson. He'll go, if he can't put the ball in, he'll pass it and someone will score. So look, I'm very impressed so far with it. And obviously the second half, obviously the second half came, again, it went all quiet. Angelo, I thought was quite good on the when he came on as well in the second half. I was impressed with Angelo as well. But yeah, overall though, overall pleased. We go on to Dortmund now on Wednesday or Thursday, and hopefully we'll get a result there next.
Yeah, I hope so. Constantine Dante says, Coach, what choice you see Colwell now? A third, a fourth, or fifth choice? Here's the thing. I think he will be one of the starting centre backs. They can always rotate. We don't have too many. He can start. He can be paired with Silva or be paired with Disasi or Disasi. I'm mixing things up right now. So there's no talent. Yeah, I think let me just use the term. He'd be one of the starting centre backs. That's how I want to. I'm going to leave it at that. Monaco don't have a hamstring coach, which is not the case at CFC. Yeah, we even
God.
hired one to help save the situation.
That's cold.
It's cold proper, isn't it?
Chelsea owners should be named the best secret owner. Making signings are in secret. And I like that, really, I have to say. This says the expectation is that the first choice of CB apparent right now will be Colwell and Disasi. Second choice is Badiashile and Disasi. Silva will be the plug and play CB. Emergency CBs will be Kukurea and Reece James. I think I couldn't say that any better, actually. We are creating room for best signing ever. That is okay. That is will be a record signing, and Batman will be busy signing his brothers. Maybe I'm not too sure, but Chigozie, nice to see you. More importantly, I hope you're doing well. Yes, Chalobah is on 50K. I think we've addressed that one. So happy, but good sign. We are still gonna improve. Pair Jackson with Mbappe, then see his best. Okay, both has a speed and can score wonderful goals. Watching you from West Africa, Ghana, Accra, Eric and Ando. Nice to see you, Eric. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Be sure to subscribe and tell others about the channel. Personally, I think we should be aiming for a CB that just better than a Chalobah, but due to last season, FFP has Clear Lake on tight rope. I didn't know we still have a problem, or maybe I'm not sure how to say that actually. But Roger, let me come to you. Did you pay attention to Malo Gusto? What a player! Reece has to compete. Nothing is given right now. You have to prove that you're the better of the two right backs, so to speak.
Yeah, Reece looked good, coach.
Mm-hmm.
But
they both do. But here's why I'm surprised. I've always known that Gusto is a good player, but I was concerned that he wasn't good defensively. It turns out he's actually defensively sound.
He's a solid tackler. The way he tackles, I like. He's decisive, instinctive, and he's not a dirty tackler either. So if you look at the compilation of his tackles, and what he's tackled, how he's tackled for Chelsea in the last 3 games, it's identical. I like his style. I wouldn't say it's similar to Kante, but he just, if you recall how Kante tackles, he makes it look so easy, and so does this chap, by the way. And he's got good speed and upper body strength. So I like him. Listen, for the first time, I'm not worried about the right back position, because if, God forbid, James goes down, guess what? We have more than adequate depth there. I don't mind him, and we can let him rest also. Maybe
we can let James rest too.
Maybe 1 out of every 3 games, 1 out of every 4, let Gusto play.
Yeah, but I think he's so good. I think you have to be sharing game time equally, or maybe find a way to accommodate them both. And I don't want to do that.
That's why I want James in midfield.
He's a fine player. He's a fine player, and like you mentioned, Roger, his tackles are clean, well timed, and he's not the biggest on the pitch, but he actually shields the ball very well, and you can't muscle him off the ball easily.
No,
that's amazing. Yeah, go ahead with what you were saying. Sorry.
I'll be honest with you. I was not familiar with him prior to coming to Chelsea. I don't watch a lot of, European leagues. I watch the big games, but I don't pay attention to the smaller teams, etc. So I mostly watch Premier League, obviously. And listen, he's a really good acquisition. He's young. He's going to be here a long time, I hope. And I think you're seeing the nucleus of a very good team that's going to gel over the next few years. And don't forget, we're going to be adding to it annually. So These are exciting times, and he's a very good example of what's transpired recently. He's a very good acquisition.
Yeah, I do agree with you, but I hope we'll find a way to manage again the Gusto's game time for Gusto and Rich James Trust.
Yeah,
One of
you
them.
know what? Man management is so vital.
Mhm.
We have to emphasize this, or they should,
Yeah.
I should say, because it's imperative that this be the case. Like we did with Kante, we flogged him like a dead horse, and so did his national coach, and we can't do that again. You know, listen, we bought him for what, 30 million euros, 26.3 million pounds from Lyon. He's he's that's nothing by today's standards. When you look at it, when you actually look at an average player in the Premier League, we're talking about elite players, go for between 50 and 80 million now, and long gone are the days that you had an average, purchase price of 30 million to be a Premier League starter. It's gone up, for elite players. But I think this chap I think he's a good deal at under 30 million, which is, I can't believe I'm saying that now. That used to be an exorbitant amount of money.
Yeah. Yeah, we signed a good player there, and we finally have a DM, and he's going on loan. I was waiting for someone to say that this happened. We need alternatives to Moises Caicedo. I think the club will still sign more players.
Do you think he
Coach,
comes through, Coach? Do you think it comes to fruition, Caicedo?
I think we'll get the deal over the line.
You do, you still do. But
yeah.
do you think?
Remember, I've told you. I think we're still on it. We're still pushing, and the reason being that we're getting positive signals either from Brighton's camp or from the players' camp. But clearly, on the players' side, he's agreed personal terms, and he wants to come to us. Yeah, I think the signs are positive for us. Honestly, if what we're seeing isn't reflective of what's really going on behind the scenes. Then maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm worried we're going to be paying over the odds.
I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think we'll pay something. We'll pay up to 100, like a lot of people are suggesting. Neil, again, Chicas says, you don't have to apologize. We're all busy and bills don't pay themselves. Just recovering from a typhoid fever. I hope you're not offended. No, why would I be offended, brother? Come on, man. You don't have to even apologize. I'm happy to hear that you're recovering, or your health trumps everything else here. The show will not grow legs and run away. Even if it took a 3 years break, I'm sure the show will still be here waiting for you. So, but thank you for letting us know. But more importantly, I'm happy that you're recovering very well. Reece is starting right back. Again, it is his to lose. Does anybody see Gusto starting over him? Yeah, the possibility is there, but the manager.
It depends if he's got injuries. If he's got like a muscle issue, then I can see him starting. But if they're both healthy, probably James gets it. I get it. I get what you're saying, but don't forget that come Christmas time, James can't play 3 or 4 games in 7 days. So we're going to need to rest him and other people, obviously. So I think he's going to be the predominant starter, but I'd like to see him rested. Maybe play a maximum of 25 to 30 games and let Gusto play the remainder. Or when he does start, get him off after 60 to 70 minutes, if we can afford to.
Yeah, I do agree with you. He can play DM, but as I've explained before, I wouldn't want us to experiment, because the truth remains, if you move Reece again, if you play him as a 6 or DM, like you specifically mentioned there, it will be an experiment. I get it. He's played there before for Wigan an entire season actually. But the fact is, he hasn't played there for a while. So, which means if you play him there now, you are experimenting, and it's a huge risk, in my opinion. That's right. That's right. Of Chelsea, defense is locked. Yeah, the defensive department for us is locked for the next for you can say for a few years now. The quality at the left side needs a refreshment. I agree with you. Jackson, a young jobber in the making. I think they differ a bit, but I can't quite put my fingers on how they differ at this point. Yep, responding to somebody there, Coach has Sanchez again. Sanchez, which of the Sanchez are you referencing?
Goalkeeper, I think, from
Robert
Brighton.
Sanchez. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Brighton.
I'm not sure where we're at with that one, but we read the report that said, yeah, he wants to join Chelsea. What's up, popping? What's popping? I hope you're doing well, Panda. I appreciate you finding the time to join. Can either Reese or Gusto play left back? I think they can. We've seen that happen before, but I'm not too sure what the club will do. Roger, I know you've spoken about Marlo, Gusto, and Reese James, right? I don't know. Did you hear him speak about Malo Gusto?
Yeah, I
I
think
just
you are.
did.
Yeah, I think you did.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I'm that forgettable, huh?
Maybe I wasn't really paying attention. We play 7 games in December, Roger. That is 20% of our season with 1 month. Other months we average just 2 to 4 games, mostly just 2 games in January. I think you'd find a way to, to manage the game times for both players to avoid either of the two being disgruntled or maybe feeling alienated. So I'm not sure what language to use there. But that's, by the way, any other player you want to talk about, Roger? I think we don't have much lined up to talk about. I think we should be rounding off soon. But Roger, any other player that played participated in that friendly that you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think now. Alex, Angelo, whatever his name is, the Brazilian. Yeah,
Gabriel.
Yeah, I actually liked him, but he's so dependent on his left peg, isn't he? He's got no ability with his right. You notice that quite often with left-footed players. They really are so dependent.
One-dimensional.
Very. I've noticed that a lot with left-footed players. And listen, he doesn't have a right leg whatsoever. So, but he is a good crosser, and you can tell the little we saw of him in close quarters, he did quite well. Bit concerned about his upper body strength, but I like to see him play more. To be honest with you,
I would say he's actually a fine creator. If you see again,
but do you think I think he goes out on loan. I don't think he stays.
I think he is going on loan. I think we said in the very beginning. I think they said that this was already agreed and he'll go to Strasbourg. Yeah, regardless.
Yeah, he's 18, right? So he's very young, but you can tell he's got a bright future. He needs to work on his upper body, but he's definitely a talented. I'm trying to think. Was it Mitchie Boy that was saying that was it him that's the second ranked player in the world under the age of 23, second to only Vinicius?
Who is?
Gabriel. I think it was Gabriel he was talking about. Yeah, I didn't know that. Listen, I may be wrong. It could be someone else, but I could have sworn it was Gabriel. So yeah, Chelsea have got one of the players that's second ranked in the world under 23. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. I have to be honest. Yeah.
Mitchie, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. Which player were you mentioning? If you're listening, was it Angelo Gabriel? I could have sworn it was. I forget now. Sorry. Yeah. Hey, I'm medicated. What's your excuse?
No. We're talking about Angelo Gabriel. You complaining that he's way too single-footed for you.
He is a bit, but no, it's not. It's not that it's a bad thing when you look at who's.
No, but actually, it makes him predictable. That's
but you have players like who's the Man City player who just left for Saudi Arabia? What's his name? Mahrez, amazing play, left-footed. You look at Ziyech, a poor man's version of Mahrez, but still a very talented player, right?
Poor man version of Mahrez.
Well, he really is. That's the way I look at him. Mahrez is like amazing. And this guy reminds me of Mahrez in so many ways. They're very Yeah, they're one-dimensional, but what they do is impressive. It's a thing to behold. But that's why I like Madueke, by the way. He's left-footed, but he doesn't depend on it. He's ambidextrous.
He can use
his
his left
crosses,
comfortably, right, the other leg comfortably.
yeah, he uses his right. His cross. If you look at the compilations of crosses with his right, it's quite impressive. Like Ziyech and Mahrez can't do what he does with his right foot. No way. I've seen Mahrez trying to cross with his right foot. It's Roger-esque. It's poor.
Yeah, Heston, I think because Angelo is very young, that can improve. It depends on what the manager demands of him. And I've seen him mix it up a bit, actually. But more importantly, I think I like him because he's a fine creator. If you can make a move, he will find you. And mostly on the carpet, actually. He had one on the plate, but not on the carpet for Raheem Sterling. But he missed it. A lot of people, Mesole says at the beginning of our suffering last season was losing James and Chilwell same time, having good replacements in Gusto, or you could say players to compete with them. So when either of the two isn't playing, whoever comes in does a good job or an even better job. Gusto is a good one. I hope Nkunku can step up as well from the left. I think well, but let's see what the club does. Unfortunately, the last game we played like a team of fighting to get top six. We shouldn't look like that. We need more DMs. The question is, does the manager need a traditional DM? Thank you to you two again. This wonderful show. You're putting on. I appreciate you supporting always finding time to join us. That does go a long way for us. Susan Gibson says, I hope Pochettino has plans for Lewis Hall. I don't want him to go out on loan. Honestly,
no,
I'd rather play him in a left back position than see him leave on loan.
No,
because
definitely.
that's a talent there. The entirety of last season, he had better crosses. I don't know how many of them, not too many, but he had better crosses into the box than all the senior players we had in the team. And you saw that the sort of cross I'm talking about, I think we did see one of them yesterday into the box, but Jackson couldn't control it. I think he mistimed you can say couldn't control the ball or couldn't finish it one time. I think he tried it one time and he ballooned it to the stands. But I hope we'll keep him. He's such a talent that if clubs like Man City and Liverpool see that, again, we've sent him out on loan, I think they tap him up. That's what they do. But Susan, thank you for finding the time to join us. I think Raheem Sterling will play a big part in the upcoming season. I want to see that. As we've talked about before, he should be leading by example, but that hasn't happened. Coach, you asked of another player to talk about who. I don't know that name. Honestly, I have to be honest with you. Ben Marvelous. But nice to see you, more importantly. Afternoon, Coach. Afternoon to you, to Chelsea Old Boys DJ from sunny Cyprus. Great content as usual. I appreciate you saying that, brother. And the way our players are fit, aggressive, with fast or high intensity passing, a few more DMs and attacking players will make it. Will cook Chelsea. Wow. Okay.
Chelsea Old Boys.
Summarize our window with Olise, Sanchez from Brighton, Caicedo, Kudus, and Mbappe. Will be mind-blowing. I don't think we signed all of those players, really. I've just pressed the like button. Thank you so much, John Nand. I appreciate you finding the time to join. 110 likes. That's impressive, really. What was that? That's a question I wanted to ask.
Can I just say one other thing?
Ahead.
The one thing I did like was Slolina's passing. Especially, he passed it to the midfield. In other words, he passed deep on the carpet, on the shagpile carpet. Mm-hmm. You know, his passing was quite good for. Listen, he's what, 19, I think. He's very young, and I thought he did well the first half. I really did.
Yeah, to me, he looked a bit shaky, which is natural.
You know what though? Listen, it was not so much that; it's the fact that he was giving passes that he shouldn't have been passed. That, like on the right back and the left back or the centre back, they should have just kicked it far. They should have just, but instead they passed it dubiously to the to the goalkeeper, and that put him in a bad position. I wouldn't have appreciated that if I was a goalkeeper, because you had defensive players from Fulham closing him down very close, and you don't make passes to a goalkeeper like that. No matter how good he is with his feet, you just boot it out. You look what I'm trying to think who booted it out when there was doubt. It was Silva, didn't he? In the first half, he saw something, he just booted it out for a throw-in. That's what you do. Then you get back, you compose, you get your line straight, and then you start again. And they should have done that. They put him in undue pressure, in my opinion. But when he wasn't on pressure, and when they did play, when they passed it to him, when it was warranted, I thought he distributed it very well and low and deep to the second third of the pitch. And I thought he did that on numerous occasions, and he did well. If you recall, that's what I noted on him.
Yeah,
his positioning was excellent. But let's be honest, neither of these keepers were truly tested. And so when you're a keeper and you're not tested, you have to concentrate. You have to keep your head in the game. You can't be thinking about what you're doing tomorrow, what your date's going to be, stuff like that. It's like you've got to concentrate especially with your positional sense. And that's even harder for a team that when they dominate and the keeper's not in the game. That's why they say that early on in the game, if a keeper can get tested and or get a hold of the ball, he's more into it. But I thought both keepers did well.
Cucurella and Chalobah were particularly guilty of that.
Yeah, no. So you remember that, right?
That really annoys me about Cucurella's game. He is not good under pressure. He keeps putting other people under pressure. I know people come for me for saying that because
I agree.
I was on yesterday. But he did that. Sadly, Chalobah was doing that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. And that was when they were instructed to pass it short.
Yeah.
They were putting an already nervous and shaky looking Slonina under pressure. And I have to say, people attack me, but yesterday exposed the players that need to go on loan, and he's definitely one.
Yeah.
And Angelo Gabriel, I saw him yesterday as a player that needs a 1-year loan just to get his head right, get used to European football, a bit of the rough and tumble of it, a little bit of the pace, and sharpen his skills. I don't think it will do him any harm at all. So Bobby, those two really stood out for me as people to go on loan.
Bobby, did you notice Cucurella, though? He didn't take the right angle, and he got cut off several times by Fulham. Getting the angle.
He's constantly doing that.
Yeah, he's out of position. Yeah.
I don't know whether that will ever be fixed in his game. He's a liability there. He is always caught out on the wrong angle where he's having to.
But this is the fundamentals, Bobby.
Yeah.
This isn't like something that's new and advanced and introduced to the game. When you're in a positional sense and you see the ball, he took the wrong angle twice and we nearly got caught out for it.
We looked more solid in that position when Lewis Hall was there.
By far.
Even when, as opposed to Chilwell as well. Lewis Hall commands that position, his passing range. Now, I'm not saying Chilwell's bad. Chilwell has his advantages going forward, but I think Lewis Hall is the better left back at the moment since we're not using Ian Maatsen.
And you know what? If we put Hall out for loan and we keep Cucurella, I'm going to be, what?
Well, this is the stupidity and the sadness of the wages we've put Cucurella and Sterling. Honestly, I can assure you, if Sterling wasn't on those wages, he wouldn't even be on the bench the way he's playing.
And that's what we discussed, I think, on Mitchie's show, that your contract, your wages and how much you were bought for should have no relevance whatsoever to determine who's playing or not. But I think it does to a certain extent.
I mean, sadly, because we've got that millstone from Lukaku, now we've got this other guy. I don't know. People are hoping that Sterling will turn a corner. I don't think so. He's a player that in flashes, he will suddenly do something great, maybe score a really nice goal. But most of the time he's a passenger, he's fluffing passes, fluffing shots, missing chances. That's his game.
Yeah.
Always has been his game. I don't know
What you
why.
see is what you get. By the way,
From-
Cucurella is on 175 golf balls a week.
Yeah, terrible
Wow.
mistake. You know, from the beginning, I never wanted Sterling, and sadly, that's
Yeah, ditto.
That's one that proved me right.
Yeah, ditto.
Cucurella, I was indifferent, but to pay him that much, that's why we're persisting with him. You know, he's another one. He can do flashes of something good like that through pass to
That was beautiful.
Jackson.
to,
To Jackson.
but it's not enough.
No.
You know,
Well,
the
one pass
consequences-
every year is okay for 175,000 a week.
Oh, it's
Jeez
too
Louise.
bad, you know. His errors are costly. You know, they cause
Yeah.
goals, they cause problems to the team.
He's detrimental, gentlemen.
Yeah.
He really is. He's our weak link, in my opinion. Like, if I'm an opposing coach and we're playing Chelsea next week, I'll be like, attack Cucurella. This is their weak point.
Not even him. The space will be there. You wouldn't even see him there. You have a free ride to go where you want.
Yeah.
And that's you can say the comma. I use as Nigerians would say the flaw maybe. Unfortunately, it's there. It will always be there, except if the manager tries focuses on him and fix it and help him solve that problem.
Exactly, coach. You never know. We could be speaking in a month or two, and he could be a different, changed player. But from what
because if we're being honest, Roger, go ahead.
Yeah, listen. Last year, I'm sorry, we could blame everyone for last year. Let's be honest. So we have to erase last year from the equation. But what I'm seeing transferred from last year, specifically for two players, Cucurella and my cousin, it's bad, coach. It's bad. I don't see. Listen, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the coaching staff fix it. But he has instances. You know, he's detrimental to the defense. He's a weak. So you're a team, right? And the weakest link in the chain, and he's one of the weakest links. He really is. And I think I totally agree with Bobby. You look at Hall. I would like to see Hall start over anyone. If based on what I've seen, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we need to see Hall more. But from what we've seen, I think Hall is the better starter and should get the position. But he won't, I guarantee you. In fact, I'm scared he goes out on loan. And because of the fact that Poch wants between 22 and 25 in the squad. And if he sticks to 22 to 25, can you imagine 22? That means you're looking at maybe Carney going, Hall going, etc. I'm
scared as well that he will, because, you know, it's a brave call to do that with the wages Cucurella's on. You know, the question is, what do you do with Cucurella?
Yeah, and it diminishes his value if you do that.
This is it,
also,
and this is where the politics comes in.
Yeah, so how do you move him on? Right?
There's no other way of selecting your team than what we have seen in pre-season. And what we've seen in pre-season, both Cucurella and Raheem Sterling do not deserve to be in the final squad.
I think these are very poor acquisitions, in my opinion. Now, I understand we were in desperate need of a left back. I get that. I understand why we did it, but we shouldn't have done it because we should have just put Hall. We should have promoted Hall earlier. He was capable of filling that role, obviously.
Yes, the wing back approach, I think he was done well. This is the right time to
That's true.
Yeah, Marking him says this is the right time.
Coach, this is where Tuchel is partly to blame for this. Because Tuchel knew Hall, and he allowed this to happen.
Yeah,
you know, there were many fantastic things that Tuchel did, but he has some issues, really, and you know whether his
and Potter
life
also
clouding,
to a certain extent, Bobby.
Maybe, you know, his personal life may have been clouding his judgment, but he never stood to the breach for Hall. Okay, he didn't know about Raheem Sterling and maybe believe the hype, but I'm disappointed in that aspect of things. You know, because this is where a stable manager will really earn his onions, really, and make a call that most people would be scared of, just like Pochettino's call for Jackson. everybody was, who's this? Who's this? Coming from Sevilla? Gosh, what's he going to do?
Well,
But
you know
that
what
was
it
a
is,
very...
Bobby? We didn't have executives in place. We didn't have Stewart, Winstanley, or
That's
Vivell in
true.
place then. So
It didn't...
these were panic buys, in my opinion, with all due respect.
Most definitely, and I don't blame Bowley, because Bowley was doing the best he could. He doesn't have
Exactly.
that knowledge. But now that we've got him, I think we may need to bite the bullet. And it's a big bullet to bite, because there's the 350k a week from Lukaku, 175 for Cucurella, 310
Sterling,
or even
325.
320
325 for
from
Sterling.
305 from Sterling. Unfortunately, I can see that one of them will be allowed to stay for that reason. And of all of them, the one person I would persist with, because there's something about him, he's very clumsy, he does some silly things, but
Ooh.
there's something about him that if you know how to use him, it could be helpful, especially in and around the midfield area, because he's good at getting in the way and breaking things up.
Who's
So the
this?
one of them I would persist with would possibly, for the season, possibly be Cucurella. But Sterling and certainly Lukaku, there's no excuse.
Oh, yeah.
No, he needs to go.
That's not even open for discussion.
Nah.
Yeah. No,
Just
we're
one
done.
second. Chelsea old boy says, big up to Bobby, big up to you too, Bobby. And what else do we
Big up
have
Chelsea,
here?
old boys.
2 games without Kepa, 2 clean sheets. Even a random guy from the streets is better than Kepa. Poch needs to understand that deeply. Cucurella and Kepa inject loser mentality into the team. And remember, as much as I think Kepa is a goalkeeper, I'm going to ask you this question. Some are concerned that Poch says they like Kepa, he's been doing well. Do you think it's saying, no, Kepa has not been doing well, they don't like him?
No, of course.
And big up to you to Namaya Forwale. I hope you're doing well. Rich James of value won't get any higher than this. And Lucas, so best attribute is attacking. Jackson hit the cross from Lewis Hall on a high skin guard, shin guard, and went over the net. Yeah, I think, but that cross was delicious, really.
Yeah.
Because they definitely needs a development. Angelo was always going out on loan, despite how good he played. I agree with you. Next season, I will probably say we are going to win a title. Just give Poch right players and allow him. I think if we sign the right players, I think we will win. Just 1 second, buddy, before this gets too long, please. Let's see what else we have here. Fulham second half definitely attacked Cucurella. Yep, they started actually in the first half. Cuckoo is the new calamity. Dave without the charisma. Wow, all flashes of brilliance. Yeah, you could say that. Had we signed Valverde from Madrid, rumors are that we're going to push to sign him. And Derek, acquire Cucurella and Stalin signing was made because Todd Bowley was our sporting director at the time, and he just learned off the spot. Learned off the spot.
Well, he had advisors, though, also.
Yeah, see what happens when you have experienced sporting directors. Things, the approach have changed. Cuckoo tried a little, but he needs to improve. He's slow in running and defending. Please loan him in Stalin, or use Stalin as a swap deal plus cash for Mbappe. Even at that, would Mbappe want to come to Chelsea? You have to ask yourself that question. I think people are expecting too much from Stalin. He has always been a tapping merchant.
Why?
That is the perfect definition.
Coach, if you see
3 more, go ahead.
If you see how this team is evolving, there is a lot to do, not only with their conditioning and the newfound finishing ability of our forwards, but there is a lot in this team about passing range. Players like even Levi Colwell, who made a little mistake in the first game with giving away the penalty, his passing range from defense is sublime. When Silva is not being slow and he picks a pass, he also does it. And Bashir is beginning to learn it. Now, the players all over the pitch are excellent at passing. Maatsen, that through ball he gave, and the passing he does to Jackson. And Nkunku, the same thing. Now, when players, this is why people are thinking, maybe we can work with Cucurella because he seems to get it. And every now and then he does his passing, hauls crosses. Now, when these established players are passengers when it comes to passing, look at how Chukwuemeka places the ball, Casadei, Santos, even Enzo, they're all excellent at laying up good passes for the strikers. Raheem Sterling doesn't do that. The ball comes to him and it stops the forward motion, the offense.
Do you
is
know
killed.
why, Bobby? It's his first touch,
let me just land.
invariably.
Chilwell doesn't have a range of passing him. The ball gets to him, he loses it, he tries these silly little short passes and it gets taken away. Yeah, he's good at finishing, but his position warrants him to be able to lay up a good pass. That cross to Jackson, if he had hit it right, it would have been such an excellent goal. And I can assure you, at some point in the season, that's going to happen again and they're going to get it right.
Yep.
And you're going to see a goal of the season contender. So we have no time for all these hiccups that we had last season. Your Havertz and the numerous missed chances, and we don't want that anymore. And so, honestly, I repeat myself. Do you know what I envisage? If Sterling continues like this, he's going to have the record of being one of the few players at the bridge that gets booed because it's too much now. Sorry to cut in.
Wow.
No, I agree.
In front of his cousin Roger.
You know what? I just want to say, Bobby, you're 101% correct. And I think one of Sterling's biggest faults is invariably, not always, because he had a couple of exceptions yesterday, but his first touch lets him down most of the time, which invariably leads to him turning the ball over. If you notice, he's not technical. He's got a very poor first touch for the most part, not always. And I think that
you're right.
That leads to him
and Chilwell.
running into. Yeah, Chilwell is not technical. When you look at who was the Spanish player that we got from Real Madrid, what's his name?
Alonso.
Alonso. When you look at him, I watched him live, Bobby, for one half. Versus Liverpool, he was. Every time he received the ball just dropped dead where he was. He had it on a sixpence.
Oh, Alonso is 10 million times technically gifted than both Chilwell and.
But I'm comparing the positions.
Malo Gusto does that as well.
Yeah. But you look at him, and if you see him in person, don't forget his father and his grandfather both played for Spain and for Real Madrid, I believe.
Were footballers,
yeah. So he's been blessed, right? But if you look at how beautifully he would cross the ball and just a long ball, and he would just it would just land like it was glue to his foot.
By the way, he plays as a centre back for them now.
Yeah, exactly. Because his legs have gone. That's why. And then you compare Chilwell to him, and you're like, wow. I'm sorry, his first touch lets him down invariably too.
Yeah, just quickly, let me catch up with what we have now. That's not too much. I think we'll be rounding off soon too. Keep that same energy for Chilwell. I don't know if you've heard me talk about Chilwell, and actually, if you give me, if I have to choose between Chilwell and Cucurella, I choose Cucurella for reasons I can explain if you want me to do that. So we're not singling players out. We're analyzing based on how they performed. Given our observations from the games we played in the United States and all that. But Chilwell, his inability to find passing lanes, inability to progress the ball when you have 2-3 players on him, it's not new. That has always been the case. But once he gets in the box, chances are he gets you goals. Will Cucurella get you goals? No. But Cucurella is capable of finding passing lanes where you don't know one exists.
Yeah,
and that's the difference between the two of them. So to some extent, you could argue they complement each other. Chilwell is coming back from injury. I think this is beyond the injury. That's just who he is he's always been as a player. Newcastle were interested in taking Cucurella, just flog him now while he is still worth something. Is Jackson definitely starting your first game? Yeah, I think he will start. Also, who's starting the season? Chilwell or Cucurella, I'm not too sure. Maybe
See?
Cucurella, if the manager's intent is to field the more defensively solid of the two, then it'd be a Chilwell. But if he wants the more offensive of the two, I think it'll be Cucurella. But let's see what he does. Sterling
Notice Hall wasn't mentioned in. Notice Matej Singh didn't mention the Hall because we all concede the fact that there's a very small possibility that Hall will start, which he should do.
No space. Especially for playing with a back three where we're deploying wing backs. Then it's no different from me. Will be no different from him playing in the mid in the midfield, and we've seen him there.
But Hall's good enough to start as a in a back four. He really is.
I wouldn't mind. As long as and in Pochettino's back four, the full backs, they do a lot of bombing forward.
Yes. And to be honest with you, I would prefer him thus far over Chilwell or Cucurella, from what I've seen thus far.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Sterling was good yesterday when he hugged the line. Imagine if he played on the left wing and he hugs the line. Okay. But let feel nice to see you. Chilwell is still suffering from injury PTSD. That may well be the case. You'll talk about Chilwell just the other way, but did you see the shot he played? I think he shoots very well. I give him that, really.
Yeah, that's true.
I accept that argument, actually, because you can see from Reece James, there were some balls that in the past he would have run and got, and he wasn't doing it. I saw a 50-50. He kind of shied away from, and I was glad he shied away from it. So you're right. Maybe some of Chilwell's problem is that he's still getting over. Yeah. But still, I think
it's understandable.
James still has the passing range.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for not having that. But I'll accept that and say, okay, let's see how he does with time, for sure. What's Sterling's excuse? I'm still scratching my head.
Yeah, but you're right though, because don't forget, Chilwell, he was injured with a major knee injury because of contact in the Juve game. It wasn't that he was running and he fell awkwardly or anything like that, or he pulled a muscle. It was a contact. It was a 50-50, and he came out worse, unfortunately. So I get it. Yeah, you're right. That's a good observation. He probably does have PTSD in that regard.
Yeah, there's a chance that's the case. Whoever thinks Cucurella and Kepa can improve needs to know you don't pay 140 million to improve. You pay to get results. That's just the truth. They should be always rated. These fans were insulting Alonso for years, and now they're backing Cucurella. Alonso has issues, but I think I'd take him anytime, any day, given the other aspect of his game and everything. Yeah. And after all, Conte was able to conduit his deficiencies. It's approach. I think it depends on the manager. Chilwell is master, but not better than Alonso. Please don't compare them. Okay. Coming back from injury, those excuses. It's been a while. Chilwell is a very good player. Just not aggressive enough. Needs to be aggressive like a Cucurella. Wow, John Webb. Okay, Chilwell will come back from injury forever. Yeah, we'll wait. When we are playing a 4-3-3 versus Fulham,
at some points we were. You could.
I think we switched. I think a hybrid approach maybe. Chilwell has more chances to improve with Hall. He can improve. The more you think. Okay, let's see that happen. Cucurella wasn't injured. His home was not injured, and his home wasn't robbed. PTSD doesn't apply to Cucurella. I think you have to pay attention again. The context of the person that used the term PTSD. I think you have to probably pay attention to understand where they're coming from. Chilwell is playing chess in the left back position as much as. You hate Sterling's first season. Okay, let's believe it's just because he's still adapting. But I don't know. Did he switch leagues? I just don't know.
Second season here.
Yeah, but that's by the way. Roger, anything else you want to add, or any other player you want to talk about, so we can call it a day. And I'll get the thoughts of Bobby too before we round.
Maatsen.
Yeah, still deployed again in an offensive position, not defensive. That shows how the manager sees him.
Yeah, listen, I truly hope that he is one of the players that we don't loan out. He is what, 20 years old? So
Yeah, I think around that. Yeah.
no, he's 21. Sorry, he's 21.
Mhm.
21 years and 4 months. Listen, he's impressed. He's been one of the surprises for me this season under Poch. He really has. You know, I had a feeling that Hall would improve and continue his trajectory, but Maatsen I didn't think was this good. He's not forget about the 2 goals he scored. Was it Wrexham? I forget that. Yes, he put them away. I give him credit for that. But I'm just talking about what he does on the ball and what he does off the ball. He's been a revelation. I really like him. I think
he's an intelligent player.
He's got a high ceiling, coach, and same with Hall. I'm looking at their potential. Hall and him, Maatsen, have, I think, high ceilings. Same with Gusto too. I think these players are only going to get better, and same with Sancho. I don't want to see these players loaned out, coach. I think they can develop and play and contribute this season. I really do. It would be. Well, I mean, okay, so if Maatsen does go on loan to another team, yes, he could come back better. I'm not disputing that. But I think they could contribute this year and be effective and learn under Poch and the coaching staff, just like Foden did with Pep. Don't forget, when he was 15, 16, there was so much talk about why isn't he out on loan? But he wanted to stay, and guess what? He developed into a fine player. And I think these young players we've acquired 3 or 4 players that I think are going to be stars for us. And I would like to see them continue that without going out on loan, you know, as long as it doesn't, you know, hinder their progress, of course.
Yeah, thank you so much. Roger, this says Chilwell is playing. Okay, I think I've read that. And this one here.
Coach.
Is Stalin, yeah.
Coach, why is the word loan even a conversation? You know, we're using it a bit too much.
For what player?
For most of these, what I
I'll
would
tell you
call,
why.
what I would call, I'm saying it sort of, I'm not saying it accusatory. I'm just saying it in a conversation.
I would have loved to see that Civil War.
For most of these, what I would call already established youngsters, we're going to have a young team, full stop.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to use youngsters, full stop. And let me tell you, if Ian Maatsen is not amongst them, there will be an uproar. Yeah. Everybody knows he's ready for this young team, and he's going to be with this young team.
Same with Carney.
His loan makes no sense now. He's had several. It makes no sense. He needs to be in the team. He's been established in a new position to be in the team, and he can always revert and substitute in the left back should he need to. But his new position as an offensive midfielder is an exciting one. I think it will be insane.
And his versatility.
The word loan should not really, and I'm not saying it for you, Roger, I'm just saying in terms of Pochettino, it should not even be in his mouth, and it isn't in his mouth. Let me tell you the shoe-ins, as far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
Enzo, youngster, Santos, Ian Maatsen, they are the shoe-ins. The ones that are almost there, but we need to hear from Poch, Carney, also another shoe-in in terms of the youngsters, the new youngsters, as it were. I think Modric is definitely there. I think Madueke is definitely there, and definitely Jackson, Colwill, and I can't think of anyone else.
But Bobby
is a question mark. I would love him to be there. I think people like me will be absolutely incensed if he's not there.
Yes.
As I would be with Carney. I think Carney has earned his place. And certainly, I've said Maatsen should be there. Carney, there's one more that is well, I don't even talk
Humphrey.
about Gusto. I don't talk because Gusto's already there.
Yeah.
Humphreys, it all depends on what he wants to do with this new chap coming in. If
Yes.
Humphrey, if the feeling is that Humphrey's developing so well that he needs to go and play game in, game out somewhere,
He looks
I can live
good.
with that if
Yeah.
we're not deficient, because he's good, but he's what, at 17, 18. I can live with that, but because he would
Humphrey's
then
20, mate. He's 20.
Oh, he's 20. Okay, well, still, people like Levi went on loan, although he's younger. But he's just on the cusp at the moment. And if we feel that we have enough centre backs because we're not in Europe, okay, he can have a season loan as long
Yeah.
as it's not to Brighton because they'll try and poach him, or any of these clubs that will try and poach him. He just needs to have a proper
But
loan.
Bobby, God forbid, if he does choose a squad to 22 to 23 players, you're looking at Humphreys, you're looking at probably Cassidy,
yeah.
Carney, Lewis going out on loan.
No, it's not good. I would say Humphrey, Cassidy, Lewis Hall is still a question mark. But I hear what you're saying. Remember,
Do you see my point?
a 22 man, he won't go 22. He'll
No,
go
I know.
24.
But he has
24
mentioned
minimum, 2 players in each position.
Sure, but
minimum.
he has mentioned in his quote 20, or was it 23, 24, 25? Sorry.
No, he said 24, 25.
He mentioned 3 figures. It was 23, 24, 25, I believe. I'm 90% sure he mentioned 3 figures. That's why I said it. Listen, and his previous assistant for many years, with the exception he didn't go to PSG with him, said that he likes a squad no bigger than 25. And he's right.
I don't know where my maths is with this, but I think there will certainly be space for at least Carney, and I would like to think
so.
Lewis Hall. I don't think it would be a good idea to loan out Lewis Hall. That would be just too bad.
Yeah, I don't get it.
If we do that, clubs will tap him up because they know how good he
Yeah.
is. Chilwell was so good that Pep Guardiola wanted him. I think his problem is from his injury. There's a chance that may well be the case. I don't know. I just hope he gets over it. He and James were reasons for TT's a good start.
Don't forget when they were both injured, we were top of the league in December, and when they both got injured,
until
we
they
never
got
recovered.
injured.
Yeah.
Here's a question for the panel. Should Chilwell start in left back in Hall or Matson in left wing back? In left wing, Hall in the left wing position. No, we have Mudryk.
No, Mudryk.
Who's a specialist. You could say with regards to fulfilling that role. So it wouldn't make sense. I'd rather. It's difficult to say how the manager is going to accommodate.
Matson, though, I think Matson's great quality is the fact he's so versatile. This adds to his importance, his value to the squad, I believe. So God forbid if someone goes down or is, sanctioned, like too many yellow cards, he can fill in. He can play multiple positions at a very high level. He's a very good, versatile player. Not to his detriment, by the way, it looks like. It looks like he can play in multiple, just like Hall. I'm impressed.
Yeah. Let me catch up, people, so we can call it a day. This says Ben needs to kill the shines of getting injured again and hit the ground running by pushing more attack, giving assistance, scoring goals. I hope he gets to that level. I do like actually, but he needs to do more than just his job. I understand that playing with Enzo in the back is not easy. That's a good point right there, Neum. So leave it to the younger guys. This says, and that's Cleve. Mamuta says, Kukurea is a flop and Chilwell always brings the ball to the back, which is a bad as it puts the goalkeeper at risk. Again, if he, I'm not sure what to make of that, but let's see how they change under the manager. I've seen him trying to progress the ball on occasions rather than opt for several options like passing backwards or sideways. Maybe he'd continue with that and improve and improves. But we'll see. Bobby, anything else you want to add so we can call it a day?
No, I'm intrigued by this Mbappe storyline. It's popping up at all sorts of places. I know there are people saying, no, it can't happen, it can't happen. And I know these are two sort of different scenarios, but I remember the time, and, these are players that were coming to the end of their careers, but I remember the time when a certain Luca Vialli, Gianfranco Zola, and Ruud Gullit, Mark Hughes, they were all linked to Chelsea, and people were saying, no, it can't happen, they won't come, and they all started coming through the door. I'm not saying I believe the stories, but it's becoming too smoky, and when things get too smoky, maybe there's a fire starting somewhere.
Well, there's smoke, there's fire, Bobby.
That's a chance that's the case. So with that, I want to say thank you to Bobby. Who was it? Who else was with us on the panel here? DJ was here. Roger Pop. Roger, I sent you a message. Can you help me see if you like that or make an adjustment? I'll send Bobby's
Can I just say something very briefly? I'm reading from Sky Sports, so it's a decent reference point. Breaking news that Al Hilal have made an offer worth around £120 million to Napoli for Victor Osimhen, and wages in the region of £1 million per week, pounds, that is.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, because £120 million. So what's that? About 140 million, 150 million euros? No, about 140, 145, give or take. That's a lot.
I think he's gone.
I think that's a lot of goal. Well, I don't know. Maybe, listen, he's in his prime, basically. Maybe he wants to stay in the Champions League.
Look, the guy was born poor.
No, I get it. And honestly, and in their culture, they like to they help all the family members. So he's not pocketing it all for himself. He thinks about
how much is the offer? 140 million euros to Napoli.
Well, it's 120 million pounds. So I estimate 140.
I think Laurentis will ask for more. He's going to ask for more. I'm seeing it here. It says 140 million euros to Napoli for striker Victor Osimhen.
I nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it. You're correct. So I think he's gone. I think he's going to go. That's a lot of money. No European club will pay him half of that weekly.
Yeah, with £1 million a week, that's about what, 1.3 million euros?
Yeah, can you convert that to Naira? I think he's gone.
Lira? Yeah.
Naira, that's the Nigerian money. He's gone.
Sorry. I thought you were talking about Lira.
He's not staying. That will be enough for him to come back and say he wants to buy a Champions League club.
Yeah,
this is he's done. He's still young.
This is generational money. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it is. And he may well tell them, I want the money in bulk. I want like 500 million at the same time. They can give it to him because it's a statement signing for them. He's still very, very young. Only 23 or
is he?
Almost 24.
I mean, this is the problem that
I thought he was older.
This is the problem that's going to arise with Saudi and, certainly the African and South American players. The money will get them to get some young players. I mean, even look at that Portuguese guy that joined them from Wolves. He's 26.
Yeah.
They're going to be, because of the money, they're going to be snatching some of these exceptional talents. And
Bobby, they have deep pockets, very deep. The money is not an issue for them.
And I know definitely Africans and South Americans, Brazilians, all these people, they earn their money not just for themselves but for their families.
Especially the ones that come from the favelas, etc. This is like dream money for them, for anybody, but especially the people that came from,
Well, remember when the Chinese were doing this, and we lost people like Ramirez and Diego Costa had his and Oscar, and they were doing it because they looked and said, "Wow, this could set up my family for generations." So they left for China.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
I can see that happening here.
Yeah, Osimhen is gone. If he rejects it,
well, you know what? I think
he's gone. As long as Napoli accept the bid,
will beat him up if he rejects it.
His
family will reject him.
Here's the deal.
Yeah, his family again will reject it because I know already he's rich. But he will look at it and he's gone. He can say, yeah, I could stay there 2 years and come back. Look how much he's going to earn in 2 years. And he's still be very young.
And don't forget, coach, this job isn't like you can't play until you're 60, 65 and retire. You're one injury away from being retired. This is what can happen. So your career can be cut short very easily. So I think it behooves him to take the money because
and here's something I said before. Yeah, the last time we talked about how much they're paying players, I did make an argument, present an argument saying it's not sustainable, not because of they're not going to intention because they have the money. They're not going to be spending like this forever. At one point, you can say they're still going through the rebranding process because it's branding. Once the branding is done, you can say it takes on a life of its own and
established.
And young players, again, once it's established and young players want to go there because the quality is high, they're not going to be paying that much money. The quality of the league itself will be, you can say, will be attracting players. And at that point, they're not going to be going out and say, we're going to be paying you how many millions per week? No. That's what I said. That's not sustainable. They would do it.
But coach,
go ahead.
But coach, if any place in the world, if any country in the world can do it for a long time, it's them because they have.
But you get my point, Roger.
No,
they're not going to be paying big money forever.
But actually, this is my point. If any country can do it, it's them. This is what I'm trying to say.
But yet they're not going to do it.
I'm not saying they won't, but I'm just saying if any country can do it, it would be them. Because they have exceptionally deep pockets.
Yeah, but thank you so much. Let me catch up what we have there and call it a day. I appreciate you all finding the time to join. How come we are considered in only games Kepa was in goal? Just wondering. I would rather have a lucky goalkeeper. Okay, if that's how you want to see it, you need again. Is that overworkers? Overworkers in the fullbacks. When you have Enzo in that position, in the central position, I think I agree with you. Kepa, Sterling, Cucurella must go on loan. We cannot win a big match with Kepa. Goalkeeping position is very important. Okay, Africans don't do prime. He is gone. I think he's gone too. I'm saying that, and I've read stories about his background too. He used to hawk. What food was that on the streets? Really. So here's the thing: the guy is gone, and he's still very young. If I were,
I wish him all the best.
Yeah, I'd go and come back. Even 2 years, you'd make enough that you're set for life. That's how I see it. But let's see what he does. 52 million pounds a year. That a year, is that a year, not a week?
That's £1 million a week. I'm not sure.
That's still a lot. £1 million a week is a lot. How about Hall or Matson in the left center midfield? I think Hall can play there. Matson also can play there. But Matson, especially Hall, he's again traditionally he's a midfielder. But that's by the way, I want to say thank you to Roger. Roger, please check your inbox. Bobby, I sent you yours so that we can have it ready so that it will be copy and paste. That will make it easy. If I just promise I'd do it, I'd forget it. Because for those
I'll do it now, coach.
Yeah, your credentials, right?
You're never going to let me forget that, are you?
Yeah, I would never forget that. But that's by the way, I want to say thank you to Roger, thank you to Bobby, thank you to Chelsea, thank you to John Webb, Chimera, Cleve, Mike and Neum. Again, and vote with your feet, and every other person there. Again, let's see what you. It's not going to be easy for Simham to go to Saudi Arabia and come back to Europe. The Saudis will expect a big transfer fee, but he's the sort of player. Even if he says he's going to be there for only 2 years, they take him. They want him back there for just 1 year. And I'm sure you've heard how much they want to pay him for just a year. But that's by the way, thank you to you. Thank you to Chelsea, John Webb, Chimera, Cleve, Mike, and Neum. All of you, if I miss your name, apologies. See you guys next time. God bless us all and bye.
Thanks, gentlemen. Get well, Bobby.
All right, get well, Bobby.